now that we're live.
Oh, perfect.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Forecast episode 153. The Forecast is a bi-weekly podcast streamed on Thursdays and released on YouTube and podcast on Fridays. We're a community of people who love exploring and discussing all kinds of things from video games and board games to film and TV to our everyday life experiences. If you'd like to know more about what we do, you can follow us at facebook.com/HorizonFB, or you can come hang out in our Discord channel, or you can check out our website at wearethehorizon.com. We have a bunch of original content for you to browse through there, including our multi-arc Starfinder adventure, the Discord and Signal. Now, this is just a permanent plug in our intro. It's very important. Additionally, everything we talk about is in our cast notes, which is pushed out to whatever podcasting app you are using. I am Aaron, joined by a couple additional peeps. Caleb.
Hey, that's me.
Jake John.
Oh, shit, what up?
Al Borland.
That's not my name.
Chadwick.
Hey, what to do?
And OE93.
Hey there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
All right,
you almost forgot what you're supposed to say for a second.
I forgot to say hi.
Hesitation.
Yeah, no, there was a little wait.
What was I going to say? Oh, Owen.
Yeah,
You have
hey,
this
what's up?
segment here. Are you doing the segment, or am
I'm
I
doing
doing
the segment. I got.
You're doing the segment.
I got the
Wait,
segment.
Let me get
Son,
this straight.
I got you a list.
You are doing a top 10 segment.
Oh
Is
no,
this
it's
correct?
not top 10.
Sorry, you are doing a list-based segment.
There
correct?
you go. Yeah,
Got
I got
it.
a
All
list-based segment for you.
Awesome. Let's do it. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Okay. So list-based segment is IGN's top-rated video games of 2022 thus far. And since we're halfway through 2022, I thought it'd be kind of nice for us to kind of peruse through this and pick out some games that we haven't played and some games that are top-rated that we haven't played. I mean, Elden Ring, obviously up there. Tunic, obviously there. Stanley Parable, also there. Sifu, we've talked about that. But there are some things that I don't think any of us have played. I don't think any of us have talked about Ollie Ollie World, right?
Nope.
I
Yeah.
don't think so.
There's also Windjammers 2. Don't think
I
we've
don't
talked
know.
about that.
I don't know how that can be on a best games of 2022 list.
It is-
Everything
it is-
I've read about that game is it's Windjammers. There's just a 2 after the name.
Yeah, but
Because Windjammers is like a Sega Genesis game, so
I don't know.
can't really,
it's
play that.
Scored pretty
Okay.
well, so
All right. I'll take it.
there's like a huge cult following for Windjammer stuff for some reason.
a game that eventually will be played by me and Aaron. We Were Here Forever. We have not played that. There's 2 different Warhammer games in here.
Oh, of course.
The one I'm currently looking at is Warhammer 40K Chaos Gate Demon Hunter.
I'm
That's a
really
That
I
is
mean,
a name.
I'm really surprised that none of us have played that, considering that we all love Warhammer games, just in
Well,
general.
the one Warhammer game.
But yeah, and then there's Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I think that we've at least talked about that. There's the new TMNT game that came out today. Yeah, that's already on their list. Triangle Strategy also on their list.
What a name.
Terrible name.
Yeah. The Super Mario, what is it? Mario Strikers Battle League, because it's soccer with pads. Lost Ark. I know we've talked about Lost Ark. Lots of us have played Lost Ark. The Kirby game that I don't think any of us really have bothered with. Lego Star Wars. We did. I played that. Lego Star Wars was a thing. And then let's see, Expeditions Rome. Never heard
I don't know
that.
what that is.
Yeah,
Sounds like a pulse pounder.
Anno.
Gotta be like a
this,
4X game.
this very cool looking game called Anno Mutation. I don't know. I can't.
There's no
Can
way
you-
that is right.
Can you
What?
please try that again? Please.
Mutationem. Let's go with
An-
that. Mutationem.
Mutationum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got it.
Aaron did it first try. Good job,
Love
Brian.
it. Love it.
Yeah. Look, there's a reason that I didn't do well in English. Don't ask me. But yeah, it just was interesting to see that there is some games that were already kind of on some people's lists and radars of good games this year. And I liked the fact that a lot of it, we have covered here on the podcast, and there's also a bunch of the stuff there that we haven't. And so I feel like there is room for us to explore in our next 6 months before we do the Game of the Year podcast. So we've got some time. Let's all play Neon White and put it at the top of our Game of the Year list, and we'll be good to go.
Well,
And that wasn't on the list that you read, I don't think.
It was not, because this list was made 2 weeks ago.
But there's a game that came out. You said there's a game that came out today that's on the list.
Yeah, I
Games
guess
for
they
ninjas.
got. I guess they got
Nobody cares about that game.
My assumption is maybe that TMNT game, they maybe had a demo, like they had a like a review build of, and so they were checking that out, where they didn't have a review build of Neon White until more recently, till after the article came out, but obviously it would have been there because it's just like such a good game.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah.
So have you played it?
I played a level of it.
Oh wow!
I-
Wow! Shit! I didn't realize you were an expert. I take it
Game
all
of
back.
the year.
Yeah, obviously it's 100%. I mean, Tunic is pretty good, so it'll be up there. It'll be definitely in my top 2.
I played 80 minutes of Neon White today. It's a pretty cool game.
Yeah, I am reserving myself on Neon White because I'm playing it on stream tomorrow from 9 to midnight. So come back here and watch me play Neon White for the first time.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think most importantly on this list, I was just kind of perusing while you were talking, and I think each and every one of us needs to make sure we play WWE 2K22 before the end of the year, because I mean, we all know our relationship with WWE games. They're always top of our list. Jake, what's your character you always build?
Oh
when you
shit! He had a really
Like
good
Crumpus
name.
or something.
Crumpus.
Crumpus.
He had Tostitos tattoos.
We need to build us and just have like a battle royale match.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That sounds fun.
I like that.
Can we be
Perfect.
buff though? Because I don't want to have a battle royale with my string bean of a body.
No, actually,
I feel like I would lose.
I would prefer having each of us just have our exact body shape in game. I think that'd be great. I think that would be pristine. It's just perfect.
Okay, sure.
Let's move on to what have you been playing lately? Owen, you want to just go ahead and start this out? Wait, whoa,
What?
Chad's
Whoa.
back.
What? Yeah, I'm back. I had to take a call real quick because I'm like moving and stuff, and there was
Important.
something that is important.
Being a human
What
being.
exactly is the order here for the reviewed games? Because I see Apex
alphabetical.
Legends Mobile.
Yeah,
Alphabetical.
it
Okay,
is.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if Apex Legends Mobile is second place, that
No.
is wild to me.
No.
I was also going to say, when you look at a list like this, especially something that's published so early, I mean, granted, we are in June, but this like first half of the year, the best games so far. This is a big list. There's not a lot of in-depth review on here, and I feel like most of the time this is published for SEO purposes. They're like, all right, let's get a new blog post out there. Let's drive some more content back to the website.
Sure.
It's not like heavily reviewed. They probably are just, it's like an amalgam of, all right, who's had the most reviews on popular games we can plug in here and make it look like it's a really cool list, not a top 10.
Well, it also just looks like every game at this half of the year so far.
I mean, they literally all they did for this list, they were like, okay, IGN, here's the list of all the reviews of 2022. Here's a list of the ones that got 8. Here's the list of 9s. Here's the 110.
Which was under 30 games that have gotten that high.
Man.
So
Mhm.
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
no, you're good.
It's okay. I actually really prefer when my transitions are just, they fall flat. We don't actually make
It
it
is.
all the way through them.
It's kind of our thing,
You
honestly.
mean every
Yeah.
transition?
All right. Let's move on to what have you been playing lately. Owen, starting with you. Start out the
Yeah.
top.
So I have been playing a bunch of different games. Been doing a bunch of demos, but most importantly, I have been going through Freshly Frosted. That is a great puzzle game. You make donuts. It's super good. It's super well done. I enjoyed every second of that game that I've played thus far. I've 100%ed the entire thing, got all the achievements and everything, because I enjoyed playing through it so much that I just had to like make sure that I got all the achievements, because it was extremely enjoyable and really good time. I mean, I think Alex has also played this a little bit.
Yeah. I can actually back Owen up for once in his life. It's a pretty good game.
Wow.
That's
Oh
the
my
second
God.
time this year that you've backed me up because you also backed me up on Tunic. So you know what?
Tunic had been on the horizon for like 5 years. I don't know if that counts.
But you know something? I played
It's like
it
a game you
first.
found that is clearly like Owen style, that actually is a video game and is fun.
Yeah, it's like
So.
it's definitely very relaxing and a lot more
Jesus.
chill. The soundtrack is very good. The color scheme I think is really cool. One of the things that I was talking to Alex about, which I thought was really random and weird, was the it has an IQ game sync, so it'll take over your lighting on any of your IQ system for any of your Corsair products, which is weird. I don't know why it has that, but it's super cool that it does, because like it kind of interfaces with the game a little bit, and I was like, this seems so silly that it just like lights up when you get a puzzle right. But it feels really good when it lights up because you got a puzzle right. So I'm like, this is kind of neat. Like, it doesn't need it, but it has it, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate that in the game. But I had a lot of fun with it. So definitely play that. Check that out if you can. Also with the group, I've played the Anacrusis, which is like a 1960s space Left 4 Dead.
Yeah. A good
I think
description.
I think is the best way that I can describe that, and I had a hell of a time playing that. It was a lot of fun. I think we all had a good time with it. So
Yeah, they had a free weekend this past weekend. I don't know that I'd recommend picking it up right now. It's really light on content for the
yeah,
price.
Yeah.
But I think eventually it'll get there. It's got some of the pedigree of the Left 4 Dead original like creators.
it's
Like people that worked
definitely-
on the AI director and stuff like that have made the AI director 2.0 in this game.
It also feels a lot more arcadey, like Left 4 Dead kind of does, versus something that's more complex like Back 4 Blood, which I personally like the depth of Back 4 Blood a little bit better, but I can understand the appeal of you just drop in and you pick up a gun and you go. You don't have to mess with cards or decks or figure out builds. Right? You just go. Anyone can drop in and join you. Anyone
Like
can
even the
just-
movement feels a lot like Left 4 Dead. Like it's got that one speed run. There's no sprint or anything like that.
Yeah.
And like if you get hurt, if you drop to like yellow or red, you move slower, just like in Left 4 Dead.
The AI has already always tried to heal you, just like Left 4 Dead, at the most inopportune times.
Yeah. Or just pull out their medkit and stare at you for a
Freaking
while.
Lance.
Lance.
Fucking Lance,
That guy.
man. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good time checking out some games with that, and also a bunch of demo stuff, which I'm sure we're going to talk about later with Next Fest. So on to someone else who played a game that I recommend, Jake. How was
Oh.
Tunic?
Do we have to do the transitions now? I didn't sign up for
Yes.
that.
It's new. It's new,
Oh,
guys.
gosh.
We're trying it out this week. We started an hour late. We're starting new transitions. Pretty soon,
My
Owen's
God.
just going to be full-time hosting the cast. I'm going to be gone.
Whoa.
I'm moving
Oh
on to
my
bigger and better
God.
things, guys.
I will not be doing
Oh my
that.
god.
That's way too much pressure.
You'll move on to the esports concept with me.
Yes, to the esports concept. We're just going to be casting the whole time.
Yep,
Wow.
there we go.
But so yeah, I finished Tunic. It's a really good game. I gotta ask though, who all here's beaten it? Gotten like the true ending, I guess.
Yes.
Three of us,
Caleb
I
and
think.
Owen. Aaron's in the process still.
Process.
I am
Okay.
very close to the end.
Okay. Did
Aaron-
anyone beat that true ending without just looking it up?
I looked up one puzzle, I think. I
There's
looked
one
two
puzzle you have to
puzzles.
look up. The rest of them are
Yeah.
pretty
Actually, I-
solvable.
I was
looked
going
up
to say,
two
I
parts of
also
the
looked
same
up some
one.
of that puzzle as well.
Just cause
Owen
I
looked
mean,
up so much stuff.
Owen
was looking
up
the
stuff left and
solution
right.
to the final puzzle just
I'm gonna love
I
halfway through.
I thought it was impossible. I was like, I don't know. I don't even have a guess.
man,
I
Wow,
don't know how
that's
you're
surprising.
supposed to figure it out without looking it up.
there was so many parts of watching you stream that game, which I'm so glad that you did, because you were like, oh yeah, I got like an hour left. I'll figure out how to do all of these puzzles. And I was like, the hell you will, man. And I was just watching the entire time because I was like, there's no way in hell he figures out that last puzzle in like less than an hour.
I mean, I think it's like borderline impossible.
I figured out the clues for that puzzle. I just looked up the answer because I was like, I don't feel like drawing everything out. I was
I think
like,
the manual's like really good about pointing you in the direction.
yeah.
Of
Yeah.
I
everything.
knew what I had to do. I was just like,
Okay.
I don't feel like doing it. That takes time. Just tell me.
What else? The other thing that I don't like about it, I mean, it's great. It's really good. It's very clever, is what I will say. I just think it's maybe a little too clever. It's like there's like a billion steps to it, and at no point is it like, hey, now you're wrong. So like if I have a billion steps, right, and step 533 is wrong, I'm gonna spend the next 3 hours checking all the other steps because I don't know which one I got wrong.
That's true. That could happen.
Yeah, there was definitely times in watching your in your stream that you were like thinking about a puzzle and you were trying to figure it out, and then you would jump to the next puzzle and you were trying to then figure out something that was completely different and had nothing to do with the first puzzle, but you swear they were connected. And so it was like very entertaining to watch you just being like, okay, I gotta figure out this to figure out this. And I was like, no, you don't. Bruh, you're fine. Don't worry about that one.
That stream was a little rough because I think you had so much pressure to finish.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, I
Like
wanted
you put
to-
so much stress on yourself, you weren't having a good time like
The
wrapping it
I
up.
mean, the last boss is also just a bitch.
Tough.
Like,
She's tough.
not look, I mean, I just didn't do her. The true ending,
s-
you don't have to do that in person, so I just didn't.
Yeah. yeah.
Wow.
I'm
Whatever,
sorry.
fuck
I
her.
thought you liked those Soul-like games, Jake.
Here's the thing, man. Maybe if the fighting was like a little tighter, it feels kind of loosey goosey. For a game that's so much about like puzzles, I feel like there's a lot of combat. I don't love the combat. It's okay though. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh,
I think-
are you stealing my phrase?
I'm not.
I think
I'm talking about like the difficulty. I'm
know.
fine with it. It was frustrating, but I'm fine.
I think I kind of agree with your. I don't really like the combat. It doesn't feel at times tight enough on some of the mechanics between blocking, attacking, rolling.
Yeah.
Some of the other weapon the abilities that you use, and maybe that's just me, my playstyle, the way I play the game. But I have found myself just not using most things in the game at all, and basically only running around sword and shield and rolling. And using the thing that helps you to, I can't think what it's called, the leash that pulls enemies towards you and or
sure.
launches you around.
The
That's-
orb.
The orb, yeah,
Magic
whatever
orb,
it is.
dude. Obviously, that's the name of the grappling hook.
The other things, the other elements are really cool, but to me they just don't they don't mesh well, and sometimes they feel awkward, and so I just tend to not use them. And so I think that's why, for me at least, the combat mechanics aren't, I don't know,
What's
quite
funny
where I'd
is,
like to
like,
see them.
Everybody that has been approaching it in different ways, I think, because like watching Jake, he just spams the fire wand like all the time. I never used it that
really
much.
Good.
It's
is
crazy
really
how
good.
much he used it. And then I was always assuming like you have a limited supply of mana. You have to like hold this stuff. No, he just like willy-nilly all the time. And he always seems to have mana to be able to do it. It's crazy.
Mm.
And
The
like
gun,
me,
well-
like, oh yeah, the gun. I didn't even have the gun in my playthrough.
It's also really
What?
good, except against the last boss, where it doesn't seem to do anything.
The gun
Yeah, I
is
didn't
do a
so
lot
strong.
Most
I didn't find
bosses,
the
I
gun
feel
until
like.
after I beat it.
Oh no!
I
very
can't
sad.
believe
Way to
that
go.
happened. Yeah.
Ugh.
Like
Jake was about to be in that situation.
Yeah.
We had to rescue him.
the gauntlet where you have to fight, like you have to go click on the different podiums and,
Mhm.
and
7
do
different
those
podiums?
fights. And, yeah, I think that's like my favorite sequence in the game, and it was like really tough to overcome for me. And then I watched Jake do it, and he does like the center column, and it's like he just shoots them
It's two
twice, and they're
hits
dead.
per
Good shot.
They,
enemy.
they don't get to move at all. It's
It's like-
crazy.
Like an old boss, and I kill them before they do a move. It's a really good item.
I was baffled watching that. That was crazy.
Very strong item. It's actually a really great item for that combat in general because it does the widespread shots.
Yes,
So
sure.
when you're fighting the little guys who fly around with the laser shots, like you can just wipe out multiple of them. I don't know.
Okay, the little guys that fly around, despite Jake's reliance on the fire wand, didn't use it against them.
Yeah,
it's like the most OP thing against them. You just slam on the button when they come out, and it just auto locks all of them, and it kills them all
nonstop. As they spawn,
it's great.
Killing them.
And they drop magic, so like you just get it back.
Free real estate.
Yeah, and then I played that game. I relied very heavily on the parry. The parry seemed to like be super good against so many things, especially like the last boss.
I mean, I'm not good at parrying generally. I feel like the parry in that game has like a 2-hour windup.
Yeah.
So like I'm never gonna time that. I have trouble timing fast parries.
The thing that helped me is one, you put the card on that increases the parry window a little bit.
See, that's the other. I feel like the cards. I don't know what any of them do. Oh. I know what useless ones do. I never found a card where I was like, "Oh, this is good." It was always like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
They're pretty minor buffs.
I always put the parry window and like the one that increases your damage that you deal and take. Just wreck stuff. But like the parry, the windup is super long, but all the enemy windups are just as long. So as soon as they start an animation, if you hit the parry, you usually connect like perfectly.
All right. I mean,
it seemed like very like lined up to want you to do it, like in response to them starting an attack.
Sure. I do think it's very cool that we all had such different approaches.
Yeah.
I'm curious to talk to those of you who finished it to see how, because there are just some leaps in the last, like in the thing you need to do for the last one. There are a few leaps that like I don't think I would have gotten by not just Googled it. Like, I think I could have sat there for an hour pondering it and not gotten any closer.
Yeah, I think the infamous one is the one that Alex and I, the what is it, the water puzzle, I think it's called, Alex? Or
See, I'm not even talking about, like, that. I'm talking about, like, the wall.
Yeah.
The last thing you do.
Yeah.
Because, like, the fairies, eventually I was like, okay, like, I get what's going on, and I can figure these out. It took a little bit for me to kind of get what they were doing, but once I like got there, it was okay. It was painful because it was. It's not a game that spells
also,
things out.
we shouldn't say
for
too
you.
much because Aaron's like not interacting with any of this stuff yet.
Basically, it's not a game that spells stuff out for you, which is usually great. But it does mean in some situations, when you get to a point and you make one bad assumption, you are not going to get it. Because your base understanding of what it wants you to do is wrong. And again, since it doesn't give you any feedback, it's not like, oh, here's what I'm doing wrong. It's just, you go, you do the thing, and nothing. Nothing happens. And it's like, well, okay, I tried. I don't know. It's probably like, I guess my biggest complaint, like, it's a good game. I know I'm, like, bitching about it a lot. I wish the puzzles had a little bit more, like, feedback, I guess. I think that would have been nice.
I could understand that.
It's a pretty game. The art style is incredible. The puzzle, like in general, the overworld is cool. I think the booklet itself, the manual, whatever it's called, it's incredible. So cool. Really well drawn. The art is incredible. The hidden elements on the book are really neat. I don't know. It's a fun game. It's a cool game. Anybody?
I'll talk more in depth when Aaron finishes it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Fair enough.
We'll move on to me. Of course, I've been playing Tunic. I'm very close to the end. I'm ready to deal with what Jake has been dealing with, because I think that's basically the step I'm on. I've also been playing 2 other games. I've played about 10, 12 hours of Ghostwire Tokyo, which I guess I'm probably the only person who's played this game. But
I've played
like
2
ever?
hours, maybe.
No.
2 hours of it? Okay. Yeah, ever, Chad. I'm the only one. Devs made it just for me. Ghostwire Tokyo is an action-adventure game where you play as this guy's name's Akito. He's kind of possessed by a spirit. The spirit's name is KK. And you're battling this infamous guy named Hanaya. It's based on like the mask he wears. And basically the premise is you're in this part of Tokyo and all of the population of Tokyo has been just eviscerated and turned into these spirits, these floating spirits. So it's like an unpopulated, haunted section of Tokyo. And you are, I don't know how to describe what your main goals are, but you're kind of absorbing spirits to level up and trying to chase this guy down by opening these big gates, these shrines to remove fog, this like death fog that's all over the map. And so you're kind of moving around the map and progressing. But I think the two things I'll say about this game, one, it really, really lacks in ingenuity, uniqueness in terms of like combat mechanics, maneuverability around the map. Generally speaking, any of the missions that are outside of the main storyline are pretty poor. It's just kind of like you're just gathering spirits so you can level up. It's just time-consuming elements on the side. But the one thing I'll say about the game is when you play this game with ray tracing on, it is one of the prettiest games I have played in terms of like vibrant colors. Because the city itself is haunted, but all of the colors you play with, like you're basically fighting with elements. So you're fighting with, you're like out of your hand, you're water and wind and fire, and so everything is really bright and vibrant. But the rest of Tokyo is all kind of just dead. There's kind of neon lights on here and there, but the rest of the city is just kind of turned off. So you get this really nice view of this part of Tokyo, but the gameplay is just not there. In terms of basic combat mechanics, like I said, you're kind of using elements. You also have a spiritual bow, essentially. It looks like a real bow, but it's got kind of like it can shoot spirits on the end, the tip of the arrow or something. So you can attack people while you're hidden with that. You also have talismans that you can throw out. One's like a thicket where you can hide yourself. One's kind of like an AoE shock and disable talisman. But it is the same thing over and over. Every time you have combat, every boss fight, every enemy you fight, it's all the same. You jump around, you shoot a bunch of wind elemental shots at the person until they get close to dead, and then you essentially a really lame version of Doom's glory kill. You take you like move your hands around in this really cool looking animation with like strings, and it's attached to this like element that's part of this spirit's existence, and then you break it and it disappears. But that's about it. It's the same animation every time. There's nothing unique to it. Even if it's multiple enemies you're breaking at the same time, the sort of strands that come from your fingers just go from enemy to enemy to enemy. So there's like almost nothing unique about it. I don't know, Jake, you've played like 2 hours of it. Have you enjoyed it at all?
I think really what is cool about it is the world. I think you talked about it a little bit, like the design. The enemies all look really cool. There's like the Slender Man looking motherfucker. He's just like a basic enemy. He's not really like fun to fight at all, but he looks really cool. So like,
great.
I don't know. There's that. It kind of gives me Far Cry vibes, and I do not mean that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Sort of just like they made an open world, and it's a pretty good looking open world, and then they were just like, just put a bunch of crap, just whatever.
Yeah,
there's pickups all over the place. You just kind of run around. There are some enemies, and you can just like super easily kill them. Who gives a shit?
No fight is complicated in the entire game. They're like, it's so easy. You can just essentially sidestep enemy attacks and just shoot them repeatedly. The thing you're talking about, how they just threw crap everywhere. You have this kind of like ghost sense or spirit sense you can use to see things on the map. You should almost never push tab in that game, because the moment you do, literally everything in your view screen is lit up. Everything, everywhere. It's awful.
Gosh.
It's so much crap. They also have this. Okay, so again, one of the cool things about the game, you're spot on. The story and the world are really neat. The world is it's awesome. They did a good job of making like winding streets and really tall buildings with complex structures and layouts. And then they gave you basically one really stupid, lame move for getting around the map, and that is you kind of like spirit whip this thing that's flying in the air, fly up to it, and then float down until you crash land somewhere. And you can't. It's not like they're everywhere. They're just like, on occasion, one of these birds will be flying in the sky that you can hit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great.
It's what's weird about it is they give you an unlock if you get a whole bunch of the little tokens. They give you an unlock that lets you just summon a bird and then lasso it. Which, why that isn't the case in the beginning of the game, I don't know, because mobility is like you should be super mobile in that game based on your abilities, and you're just not. Yeah. So anyway,
is it worth playing? Because I haven't figured that out yet, based on what you're talking about.
I don't. It
Sounds
looks
like
pretty.
it looks good, but it's not fun.
It looks spectacular with ray tracing.
It does look really good, and I do enjoy the world. I enjoy a little bit of like mindless collect 'em ups, but gameplay's kind of uninspired.
Never heard of collect 'em ups.
Yeah, I just invented it. The new genre.
Yeah, it's that's pretty much what it is. In fact, one of the main sort of loops that you go through is, all right, I've defeated some enemies. There's a whole bunch of like globs of floating spirits and when I say globs of floating spirits, it's just like a whole bunch of spirits just floated up to this glob, and so there's an amalgam of like a whole bunch of people who were taken out of their corporeal form and put into this spirit form, and then they just made a glob somewhere. And so you walk up with this piece of paper, I'm not even joking, a piece of paper, you wave it at it a little bit, and the spirits go into the paper. And you've absorbed, I don't know, somewhere between like 150 and 900 spirits or something. It's an arbitrary number. Whatever.
What's most baffling to me is for a game that's about running around soaking up these spirits, you only have a few pieces of paper. And when you run out, you can't pick up anymore. So you gotta go to a phone booth to deposit all your paper so you can get a fresh batch of paper to pick up more ghosts.
Yes. And that is the basic leveling mechanic for the entire game. You get some XP from killing enemies, but you're supposed to absorb these things. And there are, by the way, 250,000 spirits that you can absorb in this game.
There's a lot. Let's collect them up.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, it's a game. So, Caleb, I would say if you want to play it, you can just, borrow it from me and try it out for 25 minutes so you can see the world and then be like, oh, okay, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
No.
Is it scary?
No, not really.
To a normal person, no. To you, maybe.
Wow.
And he's not wrong.
There's not even
I
any...
don't know where your line is.
I don't know. The pedigree of the studio is Evil Within, so I was thinking it was going to be like a hardcore horror game.
It is not that scary. It is not as scary as BioShock.
Okay.
I don't even find it scary.
There was one part where it was loud really fast, and I jumped.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
And, I mean, it occasionally is like, ooh, spooky, spooky. Like the hallway goes all crazy, and you're like, whoa, what's happening? It's not scary, but it's a thing.
Okay,
Some
I will
could
say
call it scary.
two things. It diverts from that rather quickly
Does
and
it?
just
That's a
turns
shame.
into basically a combat-based thing, except for like 2 boss fights.
That's like the coolest part so far. That's so bad.
Yeah, the visual part, what you're talking about though, when you're like, it's almost like if you remember playing Control, where like things are just weirdly going crazy on the walls. It's like that, except it's got a little bit of more horror element to it. Like maybe it's a bunch of like picture frames of eyeballs moving around or something, or spooky music with lights and weird angles. No, it's not scary. Also not on my Game of the Year list. So anyway, Caleb, you can borrow it. It's fine. Alex, if you want to play it for like 10 minutes until you get jump scared by that loud noise, you can, and be like, oh, it looks pretty.
How rude.
Last but not least, I've been playing the demo for Hard West 2. I never played the original of this game, but I have been really into turn-based tactical RPGs recently. We've been playing some Solasta. I really like, of course, XCOM. This game's fun. They have a interesting mechanic that's kind of, I don't remember what the trait is called in XCOM, but when you kill an enemy, you basically get all of your AP refreshed. And so I have basically picked one of my people in the game. Granted, it's just a demo, so you get kind of like 3 extended combats, but I picked one of the people in my crew to just always kill people.
Yeah.
So I'll just line things up so he can just murder and murder and murder and murder one guy right after another on the map till we just wipe the floor with everybody.
But I always
It makes
did XCOM with the sniper.
Yes.
Just
Well,
lining up shot after shot.
yeah. I mean, just it's a easy mechanic to get through like semi-hard combat missions. This one I think is unique because they realized that was probably going to be a problem, so they just throw a whole bunch of enemies at you, and you can't just constantly do it because you don't deal enough damage to just kill an enemy off from full health to nothing. You have to utilize your other players, your other teammates, and they don't, like, when they're out of AP, they're done unless they kill an enemy. So you basically end up killing like a few guys, and then it's the enemy's turn, and then it sort of goes through the loop again. But it's fun. It's got that wasteland sort of overworld mechanic where you're kind of moving from place to place and interacting with random things on the map. The visuals are neat. Each of the, I guess it's kind of like the Wild West crossed with Aliens. You know what it is? It's that.
Weird
Yeah.
West.
It's
have
kind of
you
like.
played Weird West?
I have not played Weird West. This is different.
Sounds like you might enjoy it because it
I
sounds
thought
like it's very similar, actually.
I thought Weird West was not turn-based though. I thought it was real time.
That I do not actually know that. I've not played it. I just know that it's Aliens and Wild West.
I think
It's
that
like
is
that
the-
movie
what the
Cowboys and
genre's
Aliens.
called Also,
Yes.
Thank you, Alex.
Oh,
That's what I
man.
was going for. Cowboys and Aliens.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's cool. All of the characters that you have also have special abilities, and I think one of the most interesting things in the game so far is that there is a playing card system, and basically each of the characters has a deck of playing cards, and you're trying to fill out their hand in order to grant them additional abilities. And the better hand they have, the more abilities you can unlock with that character to do things. Each of them will also have perks like plus 9% luck, or gains critical on high ground, or yada yada yada. There's just like a whole bunch of different sort of ability increases you can get from those, but also unlock more abilities for them to use throughout the game, which kind of cool mechanic for it. Anyway, only 3 missions so far. I don't know. I think it comes out at some point this year, but it's part of the Next Fest stuff. It's pretty neat. Alex, let's move on to you.
Yo. So I've been playing a whole bunch of stuff, but really the only important thing is Diablo Immortal.
Yeah, that's the important one.
Yeah.
For not the reason you think, Owen.
I talked about it last podcast, and I said it was like pretty good so far. And I just want to follow up and make sure I don't like mislead anybody into wanting to play this game.
That's ominous.
yeah.
It's probably the most aggressively monetized video game in history. If I had to had to guess. It's I hadn't seen any of that stuff yet where I was in the game, but
Are you sure you can say probably the most aggressively monetized game in video game history?
it's like
this one's yes.
it's
I don't
it's
know
to the
that
point
you
of
can
being
say
immoral.
probably.
I think
Really?
No, I
That
think
it is like
bad?
predatory, and it like plays on people's psychological issues with gambling and all that kind of stuff. I took some notes about it, and it makes me sad because, like I said last podcast, it actually plays pretty well and is like a pretty fun game. But all of a sudden, your progress just like slows to a crawl, and it's like very obvious that you have to put money in the game to keep going. The big headline that's been floating around everywhere is some people like did the math and calculated out like gearing out a character to maximum proficiency, and it's like $110,000 to do it.
Yeah, I'd actually heard that.
That's insanity. The game has 22 different currencies in it.
Wait,
Why?
I'm sorry. 22
Just-
different
yeah.
currencies.
Used
What,
for
is this Pokemon
various
Unite?
things.
Like, what the fuck?
There's like the concept of like 5-star legendary gems in the game, and there at last I checked, there's this one streamer that was repeatedly trying to farm this 5-star legendary gem he needed. And to do that, you have to do these runs where you put in like basically $20 a pop to do the run to get the reward. And he had spent like $10,000 so far and still hadn't gotten the gem he needed. It's actually, the game's actually banned in Belgium and the Netherlands for breach of gambling laws there.
Wow.
And yeah, it's so there's a couple things. There's these legendary crests, right, which are essentially keys that will improve the reward you get at the end of this dungeon. and you can like spend them before the start of the dungeon to ensure a certain level of rewards. You can put 1, 2, or 3 of these crests in, and they're like, they cost money. But then the predatory thing is, once you put the third one in the slot, it opens up an additional menu that didn't exist before, and it says, "Hey, you can put 7 more in if you want, and we'll give you like a 10 times bonus instead of like a 3 times."
And it's not, just to clarify, it's not up to 7 more. It is
No, it is. You can put
exactly
1, 2,
7
or
more.
3, or 10. You can put 1, 2, 3, or 10. So of course you're gonna put 10. That's like $20 or whatever. And it's essentially to open a loot box, except for they've put 5 minutes of gameplay in between you paying the money for these keys and the box opening. So it gets around the loot box laws of like having to declare like the drop
Odds.
rates of things and stuff like that. Really, really scummy. There's this quote going around where they say you can't buy power in Diablo Immortal, which is like, yeah, technically true. You can't directly buy power, but it's also the only way to get power because you have to pay for random stuff to drop to increase your character. Like you can buy orbs on the market to buy crests to run rifts to get power. Like it's a roundabout way, but you can't directly buy power. So that's like their quote. And then the other super predatory system in the game is called the Boon of Plenty, which is like a subscription that you pay every month. And the subscription gives you access to daily rewards. It doesn't give you anything directly. So you have to log in every day to get the rewards. And if you don't log in that day, you just don't get that. It's not like it backs up and you can log in and collect all the stuff for the week at some point. If you miss a day, you miss that reward, even though you paid for the subscription. So it literally forces you to log in every day. And then there's also included in that system what they call cumulative login rewards. So there's like, for logging in 5 days in a row, 10 days in a row, and 30 days in a row, you get like a special bigger reward, which is actually where the value in the Boon of Plenty lives. But if you miss a single day, you're never going to get the 30-day reward unless you re-up the Boon of Plenty for the next month again and restart your bonus spree. It's like crazy. Also, on top of all that, like there's cosmetics and everything in the game that you buy is locked to that one specific character. Nothing is across the account or across the server or anything else. It's all for that single character.
We should also mention this is technically a free-to-play game, but they've calculated out that if you wanted to be fully kitted out and not spend the $110,000, it would take you 10 years of game time to actually fully kit your character.
Yeah.
I mean, the login rewards is like a really common thing for MMOs, but it's always free.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say.
log in, get free stuff.
It's like an
Lost Ark does it.
incentive.
Yeah.
But you don't have to pay for it. You just log in and it's like, hey,
It's just like a
cool,
bonus
there you go.
if you come back, yeah.
Gosh.
But no, you have to
cannot
pay for that
imagine-
luxury.
Yeah.
I cannot
ridiculous.
imagine paying for a conditional reward.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's anarchy.
It's crazy. I don't know. It's really
Shameful
nuts what
is
they've
what
done
it
with that
is.
game.
It's so sad because like if this is all they were gonna do, why'd they bother like revamping it? Because it sounds like they put a lot of work into it. And if you just wanted it to be a microtransaction bullshit, like just dump it on the
Yeah.
App Store.
Yeah.
Take your free credit. Don't like honestly. If they hadn't like announced it the way that they did in front of everyone, if they just dumped it and were like, "Hey, here's a Diablo game for free,"
Right.
I don't
Even
know.
if they still
wouldn't
released it just as a clone of a different game, reskin.
Yeah, right. It would have been like I feel like it would have passed through the news cycle super fast, but
Yeah.
because they did all the things they did, I don't know.
I mean,
I
and
mean,
stuff
obviously
like
it sucks. I'm not defending it.
the $20 you would spend to get the 10 crests to do the dungeon run to get your loot box drop. Like you can get those crests free to play, but like the rate you get them is like it'd be about 6 months to get 10 of them. So, and that's for like one run. And again, that guy has been doing the runs to try to get the one thing that he needs, and has spent $10,000 and still hasn't got his drop.
Crazy, man.
Has Microsoft completed its actual acquisition of
No,
Activision Blizzard yet?
it has not fully gone through yet. No.
I wonder
I don't
how
think so.
this plays for them. You know, like some things have bad, sometimes you get like just bad reviews, bad buzz because they just weren't completed before they were released. We have that all the time. No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk 2077, that sort of stuff. This is like very predatory, and I wonder if that reflects poorly upon Microsoft's decision to actually buy Activision Blizzard. And if it changes that, I don't know. Probably not, because again, money's money, and if they can make money off of IPs from Blizzard, they will. But
there's so many little like onboarding mechanics to get you to buy into it. Like you start running dungeons, and they're like story dungeons, and like at the end of the dungeon, it'll pop up and be like, "Hey, if you pay 89 cents, then you can like 600% the rewards that you get out of this dungeon." And you're like, 89 cents, that's like nothing. I guess I could do that.
Nothing.
And it's like little nickel and dime, like small pieces to get you to the point where you're in your mind, you're like, well, I've already put like this amount of money in. Like, what's another,
Free-to-play game. I mean, obviously not all free-to-play games, but shit like this just makes my skin crawl, man. Like,
oh yeah.
God, like, just make a game. I'll pay you for the game.
Right.
It's so insidious.
This is why I'm not at all upset about the people raising their prices from $59.99 to whatever, $69.99, $79, whatever it is. I'm good. Yeah, just please.
As long as that's the whole product.
Yeah.
Yes. Let it be it.
A finished product is something that we will pay money for.
Mm-hmm.
So
I also feel like the Fortnite model where you have the whole game, but then you're just getting skins.
Sure.
Like that's it. Skins. You can literally play the game as a no skin and get the full content. I like putting my money towards that because like I'm supporting their development. I'm supporting, So, but there is that looking at Diablo and looking at the psychology behind it. Like the psychology worked on me because I started buying some of the skins in Fortnite, and then as a streamer wanting to be popular and keep up with like the big streamers, I spent thousands of dollars in that game getting skins. So I don't believe I would pay money for Diablo though. Looking at what that is, just seeing how like it's already just scummy straight from the start. It's also, I mean, it's just a mobile game. What is it called? Predatory style. So like, I wonder if this wasn't on the App Store, if it would be the same type of predatory mentality of you're on your computer and it says, hey, you can get 600% more rewards if you pay 89 cents, or if they would have gotten, like, if that wouldn't have even been thought of because it's not on a mobile, it's not on an app.
Sure.
Well, some people have tried some microtransaction-y PC games. There was one of the Star Wars games was really heavy with microtransactions, right, for a short time.
Wasn't it like Battlefront to get like
Battlefront? Yeah, I think Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
And then Shadow of
that was the height of
War.
everybody being mad about
Shadow of
boxes.
War.
Shadow of War was big into that
Shadow
for a
of
short
War.
time.
Oh, Gran Turismo 7. That's
Really?
a new one. Yeah, no, it's really bad. They literally came out and were like, yeah, no, the cars need to be really expensive because real cars are really expensive.
Yeah,
so.
I remember them saying that
It's
because
like,
they
guys,
wanted it to be rare.
Yeah, bruh, if I want a real car, I'd buy a real car. I bought this because I can't buy a real car. Like, what the fuck?
Gosh.
We didn't talk about this. Alex, have you played the PvP at all? You're probably not even to the level at which you can play PvP, I would guess.
Pretty much given up on the game after I started.
Yeah,
like it started.
Smart.
Good reason.
Also, so a note for PvP, you have to be at a certain level before you can even do this. And it basically requires you to pay into the game to be able to play PvP. Also, it's only available for 2 hours at a time at like 8 a.m., noon, and maybe like 8 p.m. or like 6 p.m. or something. And that's it. Those are the only times you can queue into PvP.
Excuse me?
Weird.
Don't know.
Why?
Don't know.
That's
What's the
so
point,
weird. Yeah.
Honestly, this gives me much more respect for Lost Ark's pay to win, because even though it's pay to win, you could, without buying a single thing, grind and get up to be at the same point as people who paid $400, $500 into the game. Also, Lost Ark put a daily cap on how much you can spend on Steam and in their store.
I'm sure Blizzard did
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Absolutely. $2 billion. That's the max.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
you
they
can,
still
you,
put a cap on.
you can only spend $400 a day in Lost Ark.
That's a lot.
It's
I mean,
still a
okay.
lot.
It's still
That's
absurd.
a lot of money.
But like,
okay.
at least they're trying.
That's good. That's good energy. I like where their head's at.
Alex, you got to be level 55. Play
Yeah, ain't no
PvP.
way. Like, progression slows to a crawl around level 35 unless you put money in.
What a quality game. I'm glad you tried it out for us so we didn't have to. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Bless
I
you.
wonder if this is a glimpse at the next Diablo.
I
I
hope
am
Dude,
so
if
scared
Diablo-
of
Yeah.
the next Diablo. I'm so
please
scared
no.
of it, dude.
Hopefully this will just go through and Microsoft will turn them around somehow. That'd be nice.
Fingers crossed. I mean,
Yeah.
we can hope, right? We can hope.
We can hope. All right, let's move on. Caleb, what have you been playing?
I've been playing just a couple of games. Picked up this roguelike game called 20 Minutes Till Dawn.
Wait, a roguelike?
Yeah, right? Surprising.
You?
I know.
Did you kickstart it or
No.
no?
It had a demo called 10 Minutes Till Dawn, and I just love the demo being named something like Just Perfectly Different. It's great. But 20 Minutes Till Dawn, it's a lot like Vampire Survivors if you've played that. It's a top-down kind of twin-stick shooter for like a whole bunch of different weapons you can pick up, a whole bunch of different characters to unlock. I say a whole bunch. It's like 8 or 9 of each.
Enough.
It's enough for now. Yeah. I mean, it's
It's
like
not mad cheap, right?
yeah, it's like $3 or something. I think it's $3. But you're on this 20-minute stage. You just got to survive 20 minutes shooting people, picking up upgrades as you play through, getting some nice synergies going. The biggest downfall of the game, it's pretty good, but the biggest downfall is the screen gets so busy you can't tell if enemies are next to your character, so you just take damage randomly because you can't even see they're near you. So that can be a problem.
It's
It
pretty
doesn't
funny
happen
though.
with every build, but it does happen sometimes. It very much turns into a bullet hell shooter where you are the bullet hell and enemies
They are
are
the
walking
shooter.
through.
Yeah.
Enemies are walking through all your bullets to get to you, and sometimes you don't see them at all. But it's pretty good, really short, like I said. The other thing I've been playing, I finally picked up. Well, I picked it up a while back, but I finally got to playing the Ghost of Tsushima DLC, Iki Island, and it is pretty solid so far. It's basically more Ghost of Tsushima, but more difficult with some new enemy varieties that I really like. There's a few enemies that... So in the game, there's 4 stances, and each one is good against a different weapon type, or there's a brute type enemy, which is a really big guy. There's a stance for them. But
He's
there's
got a
new
different
enemy...
weapon too.
Well, sometimes.
They use clubs. They use clubs.
Oh, do they use clubs? Okay, see,
They
I've
got
only
like a
been
big
playing
mace.
Iki Island, so I've been thrown off because now there are brutes that have sword and shield, or they can pull out a second sword, or they can pull a spear off their back. So they're all of them, and you can
Okay.
they change up as you're fighting them.
That
It makes
actually
it really
sounds really
difficult.
fun.
It is, yeah, it's really fun.
Because like probably my biggest, well, one of my bigger complaints, I guess, about Ghost of Tsushima is from about not even halfway, maybe like a quarter of the way in, game's too easy.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's once you get the hang of parrying and you unlock a few things, it's just like, oh, I'll just kill everything immediately.
yeah. It's almost required to play it on hard to have a
Mhm.
good time playing the combat in that game after a certain point. But yeah,
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima, the Iki Island stuff adds a lot of difficulty there. A lot of really cool difficulty too. So I've been
I was-
enjoying it.
I will say I started this, but I was too lazy to transfer my save from my PS4 to my PS5, so I just started the game again. That game
Wow.
on PS5 is fucking gorgeous. It's
It is
so good.
really
looking.
pretty.
Like it's mind blowing. Like I thought it looked good on PS4, but like, man, it's something else. I'm usually not like blown away by graphics and stuff, but like that one and Horizon 1 Dawn, that's what it is.
Hmm.
Also is just so fucking pretty, dude. They look so good.
Does Ghost of Tsushima have anything specific to the new console? Like, do they upgrade graphics or anything?
I
Yeah,
believe so.
yeah. They
Right?
have a
Yeah,
upgraded
'cause
version for
now it runs in
PS5.
4K.
Nice.
And they did try to implement some of the new controller stuff, like the adaptive
Oh, yeah.
triggers a little bit. It's nothing special, but they
It
threw
always
in
feels
there.
nice on a bow. I really
It
like
does.
it for shooting a bow. It's just
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very intuitive and it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Last but not least, Chad.
Awesome. I've been playing a few games.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So obviously, I've been continuing my grind on Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt.
Of course.
They're adding some. Honestly, they're adding updates that are looking more and more like this is Hyperscape 2.0 with removing game lists because there's not enough players and adding ranked only this weekend for solos instead of having solos and then rank solos and stuff like that. So they're still communicating more than Ubisoft did at this stage, and I'm hoping that they could turn around because I do really enjoy this game and think the gunplay and everything like that is really fun in it. Been playing a bit of Gunfire Reborn. I'm on a 1 monitor setup, and so that's a nice lax game to kind of play with the amount of mouse space that I have slamming up against my keyboard constantly. It's great. But it's a nice little roguelike that you can go through and pick up guns. And we have had 2 runs where one of us was just absolutely broken lately. I was one where I had a gun that would stack 0.2 projectiles every kill, and it would reset if I reload, but I had a scroll that made me never reload. And so the projectiles were just stacking and stacking and stacking, and it was just destroying everything. And then Frank, I don't even know what Frank did, but he was literally one-shotting like every two monsters. He was like literally deleting them. It was insane. He had, what did he have, like 45 mil compared to my 35 mil at the end? Yeah, it was ridiculous. So that game's a lot of fun, especially when you find those broken builds. Finished off what is it, Witch Queen Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was a fun time. Alex helped me with that, so we got through with that.
We cruised through the last mission.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Did you like not have someone weighing you down?
No problem.
Wow, dude.
Yeah,
I had level appropriate gear on. It was way easier to stay alive, turns out, in that last mission.
Crazy.
I died a couple times. I mean, it was my first time through though, so had to figure it out. The mission where you had to go through, like, what is it? Go through each portal and like figure out the symbols, and then go through the symbol, the correct symbol portal. And Alex was like, "Wow, that was super easy."
But we one shot that first try.
Wow, that's a long mission too.
Yeah. So yeah, Destiny 2. We're looking forward to actually like probably when we move, actually get into some raids and stuff instead of trying to do that next week or whatever.
Yes.
That'd be fun to do. I've also we tried. I don't know why I suggested this, but I was just like, hey, let's play Fortnite Save the World with my mother and father. And so we made them spend money on Fortnite, and we jumped into Save the World, and we did a couple of the building and defense missions, which were super easy. Turns out I played Save the World quite a bit, and I'm pretty high level. Didn't realize. And then they've added new like modes to Save the World, which Alex made the comment, wow, have they been developing this in the back while like Battle Royale has been in the forefront? They've just not been telling anybody. Like, I'm like, no. There's been like I've read updates on it here and there while I was playing the BR. They added a dungeon mode where you like start on just like an open world area. You get told repeatedly that the husks may have a key. That is a comment that is literally repeated constantly until you find the key. Once you find the key, you're able to go into the dungeon and start going floor by floor, finding better weapons. It literally plays like a roguelike, finding like better weapons. You can have, I think, 2 guns in a melee, or like 1 gun in a melee, so something like that. I forget. You can die and then you can res at like statues. There's different bosses, different traps that you have to avoid. It was actually kind of interesting. It was like more interesting than just building a fort and sitting there and defending against tusks coming at you. So,
Are you when you go into the dungeon? Is it just a dungeon crawl, or are you also still like building some of the traps and stuff?
you
go?
can't like I was like building and editing on monsters because you can still do that. I hadn't found any actual traps like the Save the World has, but I was able to like throw up a wall, make a window, and then just like start shooting through that window,
Nice.
which is really cool.
Chad was like putting floorboards over like the traps that exist in there so that parents wouldn't walk on them, stuff like that.
Yeah, put
It was
little
funny.
pyramids over all the
That's
traps.
really funny.
Yeah. So
But yeah, you don't really have to build in there. I didn't build anything the whole time.
yeah, you really don't. I had a lot of fun actually in the dungeon mode. I thought it was super interesting, and I'm sure it would get old, but it was definitely something that I went back to like by myself and started playing through. And I definitely want to play more of the Save the World because I only made it to like the 1 through 19, but there's like tons of levels that you could go through and Save the World, and they get harder, and you have to use actual strategy. And you know, I've never really gotten to that point. I've only been sitting there just shooting without even building really. So moving on though, the cycle I guess came out. I don't know if it's 1.0 or if it's still like beta. I think it's preseason, so I think it's actually out. But the Cycle Frontier, this is the second rendition of the cycle. I would actually say it was like the third. Cycle used to be this like race to get points at different things, such as like harvest crystals, kill aliens, hold the zone, get this thing that marks you on the map, and you get points. And then at the end of the game, after you extract, you have like 60 stars compared to the next person who has. Please get your tail out of my face.
Sorry.
Next to
You know how
so you
it
have
is,
like 60 stars
tails.
compared to the next person who has like, I don't know, like 50, 30. And it's like you get placed by how many stars you get for completing all the missions. Now it's just Space Tarkov. So literally there's aliens that you can fight. Then there's there's still the different factions, because there's 3 factions in the cycle. There's like a sciencey one, your outlaw one, your medical one, and then your like military like outlaw one. And so you have different kind of quests that you have to do for each of them to unlock stuff. It plays, in my opinion, the Cycle Frontier, when I compare it to Tarkov, it still has that like backpack and the armor and the helmet and stuff like that, and like the gear that you bring in, and if you die, you lose it. But it kind of is more low key, kind of like hunt showdown. So it's not as severe or like Milsimi, or it's more forgiving when you lose your stuff. So, and you can also like it's not a lot to buy like med kits or some ammo, or you also don't have to figure out, okay, you know, I need to go in with this sized round because it pierces the best, or I need these attachments on the weapon, or I need to use this gun for this run because, you know, there's this boss and it has this art. And it's like, you don't need all that. You just grab some guns, go in, and just kind of shoot some people, survive. I've killed way more people in the cycle in one match than I have lifetime in Tarkov. It's way easier to see people. It's brighter. You can hear people from a mile away. It's aight. I give it a
That's
solid.
fine.
It's aight out of 10.
Nice. That's a good rating, actually. That's good. It's aight.
I'd like to explore it more because I've only played a couple hours. My gripe with it, and Alex's, I told Alex it sucks because my gripe with it is it's not OG Cycle, and it's like Escape from Tarkov, and like I don't really enjoy Tarkov. It's not my style. Like
Did I
I'm
play
okay with the
Cycle
BR
with you?
style.
Did I play the cycle with you? Is that
I
the one
believe
where you escape on the ship at the end, or try to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we tried Cycle.
Nice.
Cycle 2.0, they messed up the movements. They made everything slower, and I think it was in preparation for Cycle Frontier.
Mm.
Let's transition from our games to games. It's really important that we move on to the next topic. No, back! Games!
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like 5 people are going to get that joke.
Yeah. The good 5.
All right, we should probably talk about, first and foremost, Steam Next Fest.
Yeah.
Which is currently going on. I actually don't know when it's... Does anybody know the dates?
It runs through Sunday.
Okay.
6/13 to 6/20.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It runs
13
through
to
a
20.
little bit of Monday.
For what it's worth, this is really cool. There's a whole bunch of demos you can play. If you play on PC, you can go play a whole bunch of demos of games that are going to be in early access or released soon, or they just want you. People just want you playing their demos, trying out new games, and there's a whole bunch that you can try out. I know several of us here have played some. I didn't know if anybody had any highlights from what you had played.
Yeah.
Oh, geesh. Alex, how long is your list?
Angerfoot. Freaking
What?
awesome.
That's how
Everybody
Mike's
go,
list is.
everybody
it.
go play Angerfoot.
That's it?
That's it. All right, cool.
Come on.
Angerfoot. All right, Caleb? No, I'm just kidding.
What is Angerfoot?
I have a few. I don't know. Angerfoot is like first-person shooter Hotline Miami,
Ooh.
essentially.
So
Everything's
is it
one
even
shot.
easier to die from things you can't see?
No, it's very much like the levels take like a minute, and you die and start over and over again to the point where you know exactly where every enemy's going to be, and then you feel like a god and you run through the entire level murdering everybody.
That's my question. Is it hard to see through the rooster mask? Because I feel like that would kind of obstruct.
It's fine. It would seem. I think actually your character wears like some sort of stocking mask or something. I don't know.
That's so much lamer.
But the point, like the big thing about this game is you kick good. So you just like
kick
you
good.
sprint around and you
Love
kick
it.
down doors and you
Oh, it's
hit them
that
hard enough
game.
that they like fly into people and kill them. Kind of like
Oh,
in
like
Hotline
Hotline
Miami where you can hit the door into people. So if you're doing it in first person,
Dude, I played this game. Like, I downloaded
There
this
was
game
like
off
a-
a sketchy
there was like a-
website.
there was like a game jam a couple years ago where they
Yeah.
had a version of this
that makes
game.
sense.
It is a much more polished version of
Oh
that
my!
now.
It looks sick now.
Yeah. You start off, you just
Bro,
have your
this
foot.
game-
You're just kicking dudes, and
This game might be Elden Ring.
and
Too bad.
if you go kick somebody that has a
next
pistol,
year.
the guy that had the pistol dies, and they drops the pistol, and you pick up the pistol, and then you got like 5 shots in that pistol, and then you like run around. If you run out of ammo, you can just throw the pistol at somebody. It stuns them for a second, then you run up and kick them. It's a great gameplay loop.
This reminds me of what is it, Anastasia? I'd go, yeah, and then I kick her. Thank you for the 2 people that have actually seen that movie. Thank you.
Sure,
Yeah.
dude.
Got you, buddy. I got
Are
you.
you talking about animated Anastasia?
Yeah.
Like the
The
okay.
bat says it.
I mean, yeah, no, for sure, dude. I definitely saw that like 20 years ago.
The other thing I think is really interesting is a game called Fabular. Once Upon a Space Time. It is a roguelike.
Oh,
I'm
gas,
not gonna
no
be
way.
interested. Caleb's not gonna like it.
I tried it.
It's like future sci-fi space, but also everybody's still medieval for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause why
it's
not?
Weird
For
combo.
some reason.
Weird
No one
energy.
knows for sure.
And you are going on like this FTL style, like point-to-point roguelike adventure, and you fly a spaceship, but your spaceship is like mostly melee. So
There's,
like you have
big
like
maces on it or morning
Yeah.
stars or
What?
yeah.
and you got like a shield that you can pop out to block stuff.
Yeah, not like
It's-
a force shield, like a shield.
Like a physical shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
Sure.
evolved to spacecraft with hyperlight engines, but we're still using maces and shield, big maces and shields. It's not even that we're still using maces and shields.
Yeah, you're
Big
like
one.
a spaceship, and then you got like 2 arms on the side. It's got like big maces or something, and you just fly up to another ship and you go whack 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 whack.
It's weird.
Yep.
That
Seems
much
weird.
is true.
Sounds great.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty unique.
It's pretty neat.
Those are the 2 games you had, Alex?
Yeah.
Caleb,
Man,
you said you had games. Oh, sorry. Owen, what? What are you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I'm glad that you guys are finding demos that you enjoyed, because every demo that I've played so far in this Next Fest, I have not enjoyed.
Oh no.
I know.
I haven't been super excited about a lot of them.
I will say I did play. What is it? The Cult of the Lamb.
Yes.
Mhm.
That was really good. I really
Slaps.
like that. That was great. Potion permit. Get this potion game the fuck out of my face.
I-
God.
It's like,
Weird for you.
why?
Cult of the Lamb, I was disappointed to find out how much like management and like survival elements are in that game.
There is a weird like base building
Yeah.
thing going on.
I'm like, why
you barely
is
get
this
to
in
do
here?
any of it in the demo, but we'll see.
I don't
The
want
rest
this
of
in
it's
this
great.
game.
I like the rest of it. I was excited to finally play it after seeing it at PAX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb, what else did you pick out that you thought was good?
Oh man,
More
I got so
interesting.
distracted. I don't remember now.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
So
Here,
no.
I'll go real quick. Of course, I played, as I previously mentioned, Hard West 2. Really fun. I have played like 6 hours of Dome Keeper already. I freaking love that game. I don't know why I love it so much. There's not even that much to it, but the demo is cool because you're unlocking additional components to your dome that you can play with in future playthroughs, which is fun. I don't know. I like the game. It's a cool game.
I beat it my first try. I didn't try it again afterwards.
You didn't try it on the super hard mode that you unlocked?
Mm-hmm.
The you asked for it mode or whatever it is?
Is it better?
It's just very hard.
It was not bad. I enjoyed playing it.
It's a chill game.
Yeah.
I also tried Metal Hellsinger. I cannot play beat-based
Rhythm game.
anything. Any rhythm game. I am absolute garbage. Also, the main character's voice is so weird.
weird.
For
Weird how.
It does not
It
mesh
doesn't
up.
fit, yeah.
Not even remotely close. The first time I heard him talk, I was like, "Is something playing on my computer that I'm not that's not in this game?" Because it just I don't.
Can someone try? Give me like a sample. Give me a taste.
Wait, is it Troy Baker's? Tim's saying it's Troy Baker.
Why would it be
maybe.
Troy Baker?
I don't know. But you just look like this demon looking thing. You're wearing like a mask over your face with 3 eyes, and then all of a sudden you start talking. You're like, "I don't really know about the last time I came to this world." I'm like, "What the?" It's
Weird.
strange.
Troy Baker.
That game, I think it's just a worse BPM.
I was about to say, isn't this game like already out? The game exists
Yeah.
already.
There's
BPM's
another
great.
one
This
coming
game
out
is
too.
just-
I don't remember
Fine.
what the other one's called. We saw it at PAX.
Yeah.
But that's a big genre right now. Is beat-based FPS games.
It's
Yeah,
so
I
weird.
guess so. The one thing I really liked in this game, when you hit your 16 times combo, that's when the vocals come in on the music, and that's pretty cool.
That's spicy.
It
Yeah.
was cool. That part was cool.
But that's
I like games that do that. Devil May
But I
Cry,
think-
excellent.
I think
You hit
BPM's
like
just
an S
better.
combo.
That's all for
Vocals
me.
come in.
Caleb, did you have any others or?
Yeah, I had.
You don't have to mention them if they weren't good. We can skip. I
You
know
can
how
skip me.
angry
Yeah,
you
skip
are
me.
that you
That's
haven't
fine.
been able to play Solosta,
I
however you
haven't
say
wanted
it.
to play some more Celeste.
Solinsta.
Yeah, Solinsta. Yeah, no, yeah. You got
Just go-
anything?
I'd say
Skip
go
it.
past
Jake,
me.
you
Go
got
past me.
anything?
Okay, yeah, I've only got one. Midnight Fight Express. They showed it off in one of the shows, and it's great. It's really fun. It's
Mhm.
just it's like a top-down beat 'em up. I know it's kind of tacky to compare stuff to Hotline Miami, but it's kind of got that feel. It's a little more forgiving. You don't die in like one hit, but you
Oh.
do just get to beat the shit out of people on rooftops, and that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I had fun
That's
with
cool.
it.
Nice.
Owen, you said you hated everything. Chad,
I mean, yeah, for the most part.
I tried this game. I didn't realize it was in Next Fest. I didn't even realize Next Fest was happening. It's called Hype Squad. It's kind of BRE,
That doesn't
Weird.
seem like you.
That's yeah. What
A battle royale?
You?
Are you playing a battle
That's
royale?
crazy.
weird.
Yeah, you know. It's what's that one? I'm gonna butcher this. It's like Naraku or something like that.
Naruto?
Blade Point.
Naruto, yeah.
Naruto, yeah.
Naruto. Yeah. So that one where it's like a lot of blades and like you fight each other with some samurai swords and stuff like that. Hype Squad's similar to that. There is like, I guess, guns. A lot of it's melee, and then you have any weapon you pick up is like different abilities. It's weird. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. I'm not a fan of like the fighter style BRs. I like shooters. So if you're into that sort of thing, it looks kind of cool, but your boy's not.
I'm surprised that no one mentioned playing the Grey Irma demo. Sorry, the Moon Scars demo.
I downloaded it.
Okay.
I've already
Did
played
you-
it.
But yeah,
It's
It's gonna be the
different than
same
it was
demo.
at PAX?
I
it's gonna be
mean,
the same. I'm sure.
Under the Dome was completely different than what they had at PAX.
Was it?
Yeah,
I didn't even play that one at PAX.
yeah, completely different.
Anybody talk about Metal Hellsinger?
Literally, yeah.
That was the
That
rhythm,
game-
the rhythm shooter.
All right, so I
You were
like,
distracted by a cat's tail. I get it.
no. I was distracted by a email about my credit score, and I was looking at
Yep.
the fact that it was definitely not from my bank, but they wanted me to sign in. So
Yeah, you should
I was
sign
telling
in for that.
Caitlin about that for 2 seconds while I missed out on that game. But
Yeah.
do we say that it's definitely just a clone of another game? Because it definitely
Yeah.
is a
Oh,
clone
yeah.
of another
We had
game.
this whole conversation.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, okay.
VPN,
So
yeah.
you can edit this part out.
Yeah, got it.
Uh,
We should also probably talk real quick about Overwatch 2. We had a big announcement today about Overwatch 2.
wait, did we talk about Metal Hellsinger though?
Wait,
Oh,
yeah.
you know what?
Yeah, so there's this game.
There's this game.
It's like
Oh my
Destiny
Lord.
2. Also similar to Halo Infinite. It's called Metal Hellsinger.
All right, so Overwatch 2 had an event today where they were talking about the future of Overwatch. They introduced a new character cinematic. They talked about their plans for the rest of this year plus 2023 and their sort of release schedule. Thoughts from everybody who watched it? I don't know who all watched it. I mean, I watched.
I mean, I got
Alex and I did, I know.
thoughts,
Oh, geez.
but
Jesus
I mean, one of the
Christ.
big things we should probably hit on first is it's going free to play.
yeah.
Yep.
That's really
I-
important.
Bro, what took them so long?
I don't know.
I don't know.
why it took them so
I-
long, but
I mean,
at least
the
they're
mo-
finally there.
I will say Overwatch was like what, like $5-10 before they did this, and so it's like cool, I
Sure.
guess.
But like, I don't
What-
know, dude. I feel like it could have saved Overwatch 1, at least kept it from the state it ended up in, you know?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
ended up
could've helped.
really bad.
For sure.
Wasn't it $30 when it came out originally?
Mhm.
40.
Yeah.
It's 40.
Yeah.
40?
Yeah.
40?
I think.
I think it was
Wow.
40 when it originally came out, but yeah,
We're
it was
bunch of
a
fucking
cheaper game.
suckers.
I mean, definitely
And they
wasn't a
had
full
the-
price game, but yeah, it was up there.
What was it? Like the Origins edition or whatever, which was $60?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of Origin editions, now there's the Overwatch 2 Watch Point edition.
Watch Point.
Yeah, watch point.
So
Sure.
yeah, it is free to play, but you can spend $40 so you can get into every beta, and also get the first season pass because they're doing season passes now, and a bunch of other stuff with it.
Is it not an open beta? I thought it was going to be an open beta.
No,
Oh no,
It is not.
Oh, it's not.
No?
It is not an open beta.
there's
required
a sign up.
signups.
I posted it in the Discord. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I thought that was like a sign up
An
and
earlier-
we'll send it to you.
oh no, it's
Kind of
still
like
closed.
Steam's like request access. Hell yeah, you got access.
No,
Right?
And
Like,
they
what
might
you
do an
silly.
open beta closer to October, but for now they're still
whatever,
closed.
man.
Okay, so let me just highlight on the big notes from the key topics here. October 4th is the release date for Overwatch 2 when it goes free to play. They are going to have another closed beta here at the end of the month. I think the 28th is the date when that starts. They are talking about, of course, the 3 new heroes that they're introducing. Sojourn, Junker Queen, who we got to see the cinematic for today, which was really freaking cool. Actually, both of them were incredibly well done, as are most of the
Turns
cinematics.
out Blizzard knows how to make cinematics. It's
Yeah, weird.
Yeah,
I
It's
wasn't
crazy.
a big fan
If-
of the music in the Junker Queen.
Oh, I loved
No.
it.
That was a little.
It was
iffy.
perfect for her. Oh, no, it's great. They also talked about there is a yet to be an announced or detailed support hero that they're going to release before the game releases on October 1st or 4th, which is great.
Probably has something to do with
Box
that
Girl.
little box. Yeah, that shows
Yeah.
up in the trailer.
6 new maps, of course. They also talked about the new mode that they have, which is Push, which they've talked about prior to this. But one thing I thought was interesting also, they talked a little bit about their new Mythic skin thing that they're going to be doing, which to me is, and Alex and I were already talking about this, this is Dota Arcanas. Exactly what this is. I'm certain that's going to be how those skins look. Just
a premium
wild.
tier skin.
Yeah.
It'd be like $30 to buy.
Like an Arcana?
Yep. Did you miss that part when I said Dota Arcana?
God damn.
Did you get another email about your credit score from a different company?
No, I was pulling up a different email for the end of the podcast.
Yeah. They also
That's
talked
why it
about
was
their
in my email to begin with.
they also talked about their roadmap. So they're going to be doing seasonal based releases, which I think is a great idea. They're either going to do a hero or a new map every season, which is great. We're going to see new releases of heroes more frequently.
Yeah, they're promising a new hero every 18 weeks. I remember that right?
You say more frequently, but that's about as frequently as it was.
Yeah.
Well,
before.
Yeah,
sorry,
so
more
this is-
frequently than right now.
Yeah,
This stuff was listed on the roadmap, right?
Yeah, it's listed on the roadmap.
Okay, cool.
We get a new tank hero in December. They said that for sure.
Yeah.
Which, when you look at the pool of heroes right now and you start to think about, like, okay, sure, you only have one tank slot. You can have that few of tanks, but the support pool is very, very small right now.
Support pool's smaller than the tank pool.
I know, and you have 2
which
supports.
is surprising.
Nobody
sad.
likes support.
Pretty sad. They got no reworks to any of their characters. No new characters.
No.
Yeah, because you know what's not broken? Healing people. You either heal less or heal more. It's not like it's like, yes, this person does something different than just heal.
Okay,
You
but
felt
like
very sad.
as a whole right now, looking at Overwatch 2, does it feel like Overwatch 2, or are we still thinking it's just like we're hoping that they're doing a ton for the co-op mode?
Maybe.
We're
PvE's not
hoping
coming
they're
out
doing more of that.
till 2023.
Yep.
Got
which
it. All right.
to me means Overwatch 2 is not coming out till 2023.
right?
Yep, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Have they
It's
said
not
is
even. You go. Sorry.
is the PvE going to be free?
I don't think they've
specified.
specifically clarified.
Okay.
The way they've laid everything out, though, it kind of sounds like maybe.
It's sounding like it will be now, but they didn't. I don't think
mean-
they said.
That would be super cool of them.
I mean, it's listed alongside all the other stuff. Like
Okay.
they have this slide that's like, the top of it says free to play live service, and then the bottom of it says PvE experiences. So to me, that sounds kind of like it's included. But maybe they charge. I mean, like skins are listed and stuff too. So like maybe they charge for missions or something. I don't know.
I do feel like they
Yeah,
kind of
it's-
talked down the PvE stuff.
It's going to be like 89 cents to get 600% co-op experience.
Mhm.
I'm really disappointed with them not releasing the PvE as like a cohesive experience. They're talking about how they're going to start releasing parts of it next year. Like it's
Yeah.
not going to be like a
So it'll
here
be
is the
piecemealed in.
campaign drop.
Listen, man, they haven't had much time to work on
Oh
Overwatch
my
2,
gosh.
okay? They've been developing Overwatch 1. Okay?
When they announced Overwatch 2, it was like primarily the PvE was why they were doing it, right?
Yeah.
Am I
Yep.
crazy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nope,
I mean,
you are
that's what
correct.
they said.
They couldn't do it in the old engine, which is why they had to change engines. They
Mhm.
couldn't do the PvE stuff they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And they were going to roll the PvP in where you didn't have to pay for it again. And then like you'd have to pay for the PvE campaign. Like that was going to be the big new thing. And then now it seems like here's a slightly tweaked PvP experience that you've already had for the most part.
Yeah.
And
I'm
maybe
still-
we'll start rolling out some small parts of the PvE at some point next year.
I am still very confused at this point as since they're releasing them at separate times why they're calling this Overwatch 2. It's just isn't
Yeah,
this just
why not?
Overwatch?
It's the new platform. I mean, I don't know what
new
they do
engine for
Why
about
not
it.
just
Yeah.
call it Overwatch Next? That always goes really well.
Stage 2.
Mhm. I feel like Overwatch is such like it hit so big. It was such like it feels like it was such a big moment. Like it was so popular. Like
Yeah.
even people who didn't play know the characters, and that ba, 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 just like the
Yeah.
intro song. It's such a big kind of like cultural thing. But it's been so poorly handled that like now nobody gives a shit about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you drop the ball so hard, dude. Like I do not get it.
Struggle. Developing video games, I thought was easy. And then what
Yeah,
you said,
like-
Caleb?
They should have hired Caleb.
They should have.
Honestly, it just seems so bizarre because you're right. Like, I remember the start of Owl and being like, oh man, like, this is huge. Like, I'm seeing Overwatch League happening on live TV. It's right there, and this is gonna become a huge thing. Esports is finally gonna go mainstream. The game is popular. Like people were wearing t-shirts and like recognizing the characters and stuff in public, and then they're just like, hey, what if we just like don't do anything to this game for 4 years and hope the fans stick around? Does that sound cool with everybody? Okay, cool, thanks. Like, I don't understand what they expected, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Also, because of how poorly they've handled everything, it's become like popular to hate on it at this point.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like,
So now they have to try to dig themselves out of that hole somehow.
My
Yeah,
favorite today from the comments were like, every few seconds you'd see, wait, but where's Jeff? The whole time.
it's just I am in anger about it because I care so much about the game. Like, it was so good and it was so much a part of my life that I'd love to support it and not feel guilty that I'm, backing people that are sexual abusers or don't want to support what's going on in Hong Kong, or like, it's just they've fucked up so much other stuff outside of just the game that it's like I would love to support this again, and I hope that eventually I can, and maybe that'll happen with Overwatch 2.
Yeah, fingers crossed they'll get it figured out. I don't know. I feel like it's still very up in the air for a lot of people. We'll see. The heroes look cool, at least. The maps look cool. It looks like they've spent a lot of time on audio design, map layout, just like hero redesigns in general.
Yeah, from what I experienced in the last beta, like, the sound design is fantastic. Entering into any of those games and hearing the music in the background and everything, it just sounds so fucking good. And so I will only hope that continues to be there and that there's more things for us to love.
Yeah. Okay, let's touch base on other game announcements. I know there were like 67 game shows between our last podcast and this one. I don't even know where to start, what to talk about. I mean,
Summer Games Fest.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's where to start.
I didn't read anything because you guys are my primary news source on all of this because I know you
Yeah,
have the most
that's-
accurate,
that's
relevant
actually bad.
information.
Woo! We got a lot
Oh
of
my god.
Everybody
that's what
should
I'm
use
talking
this as
about.
primary news source.
Please read a
I-
book.
I'm very excited to hear what you guys have to say. So we're starting where? Where are we starting?
Summer Games Fest. So that's
Summer
like
Games
the thing Jeff Keighley hosted that he tried to fill the void of E3 not happening.
Oh, this is what they keep calling not E3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were
Okay.
a lot of not E3s, I feel like, but this was the not E3est of them all.
Got it.
Alex, what was your take on the Summer Game Fest?
It was a decent show. There was some stuff in there that looked pretty
Stuff
fire.
in there.
Yeah.
Very exciting. He just really turns it
I think
up.
I think the highlight was the Callisto Protocol.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Callisto
You mean
Protocol
Dead
looks
Space.
sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
the game that
Yeah.
looks like Dead Space.
Yeah.
It appears to be Dead Space in all but name.
They showed a bunch of that. It looks very, very cool.
Are you gonna be able to play that, Alex?
No
see.
way. No
It looks
way.
It looks cool
Right
enough that I want
away.
to try to play it.
Did you play Dead Space?
I played the beginning of Dead Space like 4 times.
Wow, okay. I mean, it does have a really good beginning.
Yeah.
It also has a good middle and end, but the beginning's also good.
Yeah, I mean, I can just go over some of the stuff. They announced Street Fighter 6 at the end of that thing.
Sick. I'm excited about that.
It looks weird, like they have some sort of open world aspect to it.
Yeah,
it's a
we'll
fighting
see
game
about
though.
that.
Clear.
Like you walk around the town and challenge people to fights and beat them up.
I kind of like it. It sounds like, it looks like, and maybe this is just me being optimistic, like maybe they're going to spend some effort on like a single player mode.
Sure.
Like best case scenario, right, is that it's a really cool single player mode where you can actually like learn and practice to be good at fighting games.
Yep.
The pessimist in me says it is a weird lobby system where instead of just clicking find match and waiting, you walk around an empty lobby and have to walk up to someone's avatar and challenge them to a fight, which would suck. I don't know why you would want that, but
yeah, I don't know. It looks more single player, I think, than that.
I thought so too, but
we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, unclear.
They showed off the first Modern Warfare 2 gameplay. This is Modern Warfare 2, like not original Modern Warfare 2, new Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, it's different. Don't you know that?
Gosh.
It's different.
The reimagining of Modern Warfare 2. It's not a remake of Modern Warfare 2. It's a different game entirely.
Yeah.
Although they do use the same characters.
And the first mission is on a boat.
Hey, whoa. It's on an oil rig.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Modern Warfare 2 was on a boat. Different things.
They transitioned to a boat in the second half
They
of the demo.
do go to a boat.
We were in an active thread in Discord, and I was just like, this isn't a boat, it's an oil rig. And then I was like, oh, there's the boat.
There's the boat.
Oh my god.
I'll say that game graphically looks insane. The water effects and everything, awesome. It's always like top tier production value from them. If not, at the cost of being a Call of Duty game.
I'll also say, if you do remember shipment from like Modern Warfare 2 back in the day, all the containers stay still. The containers kind of move in this one. It's kind of
Guys,
cool.
the containers
That physics
move.
on the containers.
It's
Actually,
a
they talked about how they
Holy crap.
it's not scripted. They simulate the water around the boat, and that's what pushes the boat around, which causes the containers to shift.
That's actually kind of sick.
But like, also, who
But
cares?
why?
Just
Yeah.
script
Like,
it,
what's the
guys.
difference?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So when I'm taking cover behind that container and it moves out of the way and the enemy's right there on veteran difficulty and literally just headshots me and I'm dead instantly, it's just going to be that much more rage inducing.
Yeah, I was a little shocked that they didn't show any kind of harder difficulty being played, because there was like one grenade thrown in the entire trailer, and I was like, this isn't Call of Duty. Like, there should be at least 50 reticles like all the time.
Whoever they had playing it was absolutely god awful at the game.
Yeah,
so
that too.
Yeah,
I don't think it would have gone well if it was at a higher difficulty.
I saw a reaction TikTok and the dude was like, where's the slide canceling? Why is this guy walking so slow? He's advancing. And I was like, yeah, that's how I feel, but I get it. You gotta move slow. You gotta show off the game. You can't play like I play.
To make it look cinematic, They did talk about Warzone 2.0 is going to happen at some point after this release, and nothing from original Warzone is going to carry over. It's going to be a whole new experience. That'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
Supposedly you don't have to grind your weapons anymore, which is going to be excellent, because I love playing Warzone, and I love playing Warzone with friends. But some friends don't want to grind as much as, I would want to grind. And if you could just jump in, use the meta weapons, just like straight out the gate every season, I think that's going to be 10 out of 10. People, more casuals will play it.
A game called Stormgate got announced. It's an RTS game. It looks hyper generic.
Is it a real game?
I don't know why
Trailer looked fake.
they're making it.
Didn't they come out and say it was real? Like on stage, they were like, "This is a real game."
Yeah. Right when we were saying this is a fake game, they were like, "This game's real." It's like, oh shit, okay, it's real.
They also said like 4 times that there's no NFTs in it. They really wanted to stress that there's no NFTs in that specific game.
Immediately suspicious.
Well, I think the reason they were doing that is because a lot of the NFT games look exactly like this game.
Oh
man,
really?
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's like that cartoony,
Somebody should
but not
tell them-
cartoony.
People aren't really into RTSs anymore. I don't know.
I mean,
yeah,
don't you think that they're probably like announcing that because NFTs have collapsed so rapidly over the past like 2-3 months? Like the whole
It just seems
NFT
weird to
marketplace
stress so
is-
much.
So
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
they're also the
but-
only person doing it.
Just don't mention it. I don't know.
Well, I guess that's
Yeah.
true.
Right,
guess
just
that's
don't
true.
originally
fucking
they
say
had an
anything.
NFT in it, and then it started collapsing, and so they're like, "Oh, by the way, what you've heard about this game having NFTs, it's wrong. This game doesn't
Yeah,
have
maybe
NFTs."
there's
No-
like a
no
secret
NFTs.
cabal
Like a
of Stormgate haters that were trying to spread misinformation about NFTs being in it.
Oh my god!
it was so funny to be able to sit there and like, I mean, at least me and Alex were in chat with each other, and Chad, I think you eventually joined into that at some point, but like we were harping on pretty much every game, and most of them I was harping on because like half of those trailers didn't show actual gameplay, so I had no idea what kind of game it was.
Yeah.
Or what it was just like it's steampunk, and I'm like,
E3, not
cool. What is that a steampunk RTS? Is it a steampunk roguelike? Like, what is it? It's just like it's steampunk, and I was like, cool. I don't care about your game. Fuck. There was one that even said they were like, oh yeah, we announced this game 5 years ago on this stage. And
that was
like,
Witchfire.
yeah, and
Witchfire.
now here's our trailer, and the trailer didn't even have anything in it, and I was like, what have you
They
been
had some
doing for
gameplay in that
5
trailer.
years?
I don't.
Yeah.
That game does not look like a 5-year in development game. I don't know what they've been doing the whole time. It looks kind of like how I remember them revealing it the first time. I don't know. Super weird.
Yeah. But the point is when we got to that last game, it was very funny because I was like, watch, this is going to be an RTS. And then sure enough, there was like Stormgate gameplay. It's an RTS. And I was like, wow, I fucking
They showed
called
like
it.
a really bad cinematic trailer. Ugh. Pretty bad. They announced Goat Simulator 3
Yeah.
at this show.
10 out of 10. I love this. I loved this so much.
A good
You might not
trailer.
be aware, but there is no Goat Simulator 2. They just named this one 3.
Yeah.
Why not?
Everybody in our chat was just like, wait, there's a 2?
Try to Google for it. No 2 exists. Just the first one. They just
They,
wanted
like-
it to be quirky.
remade the old Dead Island trailer in their
Yeah.
funky graphic style.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was pretty clever.
They showed what else they showed off? Warhammer 40k Darktide looks fun.
Yeah, I knew we were all fans of Warhammer titles. See?
That's like
Yeah.
the one series that's like pretty cool.
I'm all about the Imperium, yo.
Oh, Marvel's Midnight Sun. That game looks pretty sick.
I'm excited for that one. It's like
Yeah.
a XCOM-y Marvel game.
It's like an XCOM game set in the Marvel universe. How cool is that?
In the
Get to
darker
use-
side of the
With
Marvel
cards.
Get
universe.
to use like Marvel
You forgot the
characters and
card
stuff.
game part of it. There's cards. We throw cards, you know?
It's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Gotham Knights was shown. That game
Gotham Knights
continues
was
to
shown.
be a thing that is going to exist that I'll probably play. They're remaking The Last of Us.
Yeah, remaking The Last of Us for PS5. Part
Third
one.
time they've
Yeah,
they've released that game. Why not?
Well, this is a
It's
remake.
weird.
The other one was a remaster.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's
Big
very
difference.
different. They did
Very
a lot
different.
of work on this one. They
It's
tried to explain
different.
all the work they did on it. And they didn't do a very good job of explaining.
This also seems like the year of survival horror. Like every other title was just like, here's a survival horror game. Here's a gory survival horror game.
lot
Here's
of
another
space
survival
games.
horror game.
Lots
Yeah.
There
space
were a lot of
games.
like space thriller
Yeah,
shooters.
we're really scared of space right now, and I don't really know why.
It's scary, guys.
I mean, like, I love space horror, so, like, that's cool, I guess. It's just weird. It just feels like it came out of nowhere.
On that thread, there's an Aliens game being made. It looks like a squad-based shooter.
Yeah, it's like a
So maybe it'll
top-down.
be like
Alright. Why do we
and
always
do you
go-
have anything else?
whatever. I don't think so.
That was all I had from that show, I think.
Okay. What's the next show? What's next?
Yeah, there's so many.
Technically, PC Gaming Show is next. The only thing I had from that I wrote down was Tactical Breach Wizards.
Tactical Breach Wizards look
Tactical Breach
awesome,
Wizards,
actually.
yeah.
I will say, that was the cringiest show I've ever watched.
It was so
They
bad.
should not have let any of those people be announcers.
It was kind of upsetting.
It feels like they just went and they were like, "Who's like the funny guy in the office? Steve, go tell a joke."
Day 9, go.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just like,
Oh,
video games, and it was like, Jesus Christ,
They
get them
they
off the
couldn't
stage.
for some
They had
reason
Day
they
9
couldn't
doing
let
it?
them. Yeah, they had Day 9 on there, and he was very cringy.
Oh no, he was really good when he did the international.
Yeah,
I actually really liked him.
I imagine it was the writers
Script.
and not him trying
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
I mean, the script was just awful.
It was not good.
They
love it.
they could not allow themselves to run another trailer without trying to make a cringy joke in between, and it was bad every single time.
Every time.
Every time.
I'm like, just run the next trailer, guys. You don't need to
Just
do
run
this.
back to back.
So bad. Yeah, but Tactical Breach Wizards looks really cool. From the people that made Gunpoint and Heat Signature, you know what those
Yeah.
games are. Like tactical turn-based, like infiltration type stuff, except for you're also wizards, so there's like magic involved.
But
They also
also
had that game
wizards.
about fighting demons in school called Demon School.
Oh,
Can't forget
Yep.
about that one.
good stuff.
Very straightforward there.
Okay. Next
Then
one.
we had a Xbox and Bethesda, the Xbox plus Bethesda showcase, whatever that was called.
This
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
like one.
Yeah.
Dropping some
Yeah.
of that hot Fallout 76 content. That's what I like to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what everybody came for.
Wait, they like got rid of it? They like dropped it
Yeah,
from
it's
the.
canceled.
Yeah, okay.
They started the show with Redfall, which is Arcane's co-op shooter.
Why is this game not out yet?
It looks really good, actually.
It's so
Those look
good.
good.
I saw reactions online. People seemed really kind of lukewarm on it, which was surprising to me. I thought it looked pretty rad. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
people
right.
are just burned out on the genre, but even as someone who thinks the genre's a little burned out, I thought it did enough stuff different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks like it's still going to play kind of like their single player games, but with a group.
Yeah, I think the ability, it looks like everyone has really neat abilities that are going to kind of change how you play that sort of game in a fun way.
they
Mhm.
like play off of each other, so like you actually like coordinate and work together with your
Yeah.
different sets of
I
abilities.
mean, I mean, I guess we'll see, because it is, it's a genre that feels like there's a lot in it, so maybe it will just
Yeah.
kind of be like a drop in the bucket, but I'm
Also,
optimistic.
along with I think a lot of people on the internet thought it was just like a Left 4 Dead 'em up, but I guess it's more like a campaign, like an open world sort of
Hmm.
like story based game,
Mhm.
which is pretty exciting.
This is vampires.
Yeah, vampires.
Yeah, vampires are also hot right now. I don't know. We're in a weird timeline.
Space and vampires.
Yeah. Oh my God, space
Space
vampires. Where's it
vampires.
coming?
Space
What?
vampires.
Who hasn't done
What's
that yet?
next?
But I think what's most interesting about Redfall is the things that the developers are saying about it. Like, they're talking about like they're Arcane, they're systems based. Like they want to maintain that into their co-op shooter. So there should be a lot of like cool system interaction stuff that evolves and comes out of that.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
The idea of basically making a like an Arcane style immersive sim,
Yeah.
but it's multiplayer. That
Yeah.
sounds like a ton of fun. That sounds
Sounds
like it
great.
would be a blast.
I think
every time I
immediately-
hear Arcane, I just think League of Legends.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I was
Like
what?
I had to
They
look up
didn't make
Redfall real
League of
quick.
Legends? That doesn't make sense. A little slow time.
I think immediately following the Redfall stuff, they showed a Silksong trailer. Just out of nowhere.
Silk Song!
Mhm.
Yep.
Got Silk Song!
Caleb was very excited.
Also,
Caleb was
they
freaking
announced
out.
everything that was shown during the show is coming out within the next 12 months. So Silk Song is coming out in the next 12 months.
And
Nice.
Starfield is obviously going to come out in the next 12 months.
Yeah. I don't know
Sure.
about that one.
And there was like some deliberation about that because they showed Silksong and then the person came on stage and said that. And it's like, well, does that not count then? But then
Yeah,
on Twitter, somebody was like, does that mean Silksong's included in the 12 months thing? And they're like, that's what we said. So
Great.
they confirmed on
Okay.
Twitter.
I'm so
I
excited.
I would have felt better if there was a date on the Silk Song trailer.
Well, yeah.
But I mean,
That's
it
cool.
looks rad. It looks
Looks
rad
great.
as hell.
Yeah, I guess they still just aren't sure, and they're not the type of developer to throw out a date and then move it later.
I mean, they're obviously in no hurry to get it out, so.
Yeah. Speaking of Arcane and League of Legends, one of the really cool things out of this presentation is they're doing a partnership with Riot. And like, if you have Game Pass at this point, you're just gonna get like all the stuff in all the Riot games. So like all of the champions in League of Legends will be unlocked, and like all the agents in Valorant and stuff like that.
Really cool.
I don't
That's
think I
super
do
cool
unlock
value.
Valorant agents, but
Yeah, I didn't either until I saw that trailer, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that's dumb.
I thought we were past this. But yeah, I mean, I think, Alex, you had looked it up. Wasn't it like $200 or something to buy all the champions? Like,
I
just
don't, it's
buy
it's
them
an
with
absurd
money?
price. Yeah. So
Like-
if you're already gonna be paying for Game Pass, probably at least sometimes.
Yeah. I'm honestly shocked that
It's really
they have
nice
not
value.
just at any point been like, you know what, this system is from like the 90s. Like, just have them all. Just whatever. If you earned them all already, here's, a free skin. Good
Yeah.
job. We're proud of you.
Yeah.
Everyone else, you just get them all because it's the 21st century and you should just have all the characters.
I'd be really curious to know like what kind of cash influx Riot gets when they put out a new character in League. Because I bet it's so much.
I don't
No,
know.
though. Because like, people who play it regularly, like people who play it a lot, have all the champions, and when a new one comes out, they buy it with in-game currency because there's nothing
Yeah.
else to spend it on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yes, people probably buy skins for the new champion, so there is that.
Sure.
I bet they get 99% of their money from skins, not champions.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And you probably get more. You have the champions unlocked, you can play them. Decide you like
Yeah,
them.
right?
Buy a skin
Yeah.
for them.
I've always just really admired Dota for just giving them all out, and you can just experiment with everything freely.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had an argument with a League player about Dota and League and the fact that Dota is better because it allows you to have every character. He's like, that'd be too overwhelming, dude.
I was just going to say,
What?
actually, that probably does. There have been comments about how there's so many characters available in Dota, and it is hard to figure out what pathway to take. Granted, they've made changes in the past for new player experience stuff that's helped, but
I mean,
I don't know
there's
if
that
there's a
many
ton of
characters in
merit.
the league, so you still got to learn all of them. And
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, right, like, it's a cool idea to say, like, oh, you limit your hero pool, but, like, your opponents don't have a limited hero pool.
yeah,
So, like,
right.
oh, I don't know about Fiora, but, like, that guy knows Fiora, and he's gonna fucking kill me 8 times.
And
Like,
it's,
unless I
right.
better figure him out.
and it's not like after the match you can go play them because you don't have them unlocked.
Yeah,
You can't
exactly.
go play them, figure out what they do.
I am definitely a hands-on learner, and so being able to go into the demo mode in Dota on every single hero and being able to try them out for 2 seconds and be like, oh, okay, that's what they do. You can't do that in League. So, like, I have to sit there and read again, watch a video, read again, watch a video, and I'm like, I still know what the character does.
Yeah,
That's a really cool partnership.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Scorn. You guys like
Oh
Scorn?
my gosh.
No. It
This
Why?
is the gross
it
game.
looks gross.
Oh man,
I don't know
That's
who
like-
wants that game. I don't know who wanted to make that game. I
It
don't
looks- you
understand
know what it
any
looks
part
like?
of it.
Does anyone know the game? I think it's just called Agony.
Agony, that's what it's
Agony.
called.
it
I was trying to think of the
gives me
name of that
agony
game.
watching all
That's
of
what
those trailers for
it's
It
it.
just
looks like
like-
that. Yeah.
It's a first-person game, and they're like, "How do you make it scary?" It's like, "Make it gross." And they were like, "Okay, we'll make it gross," and that's the game. It's a gross game.
It's just really
Yep.
gross.
It's just a
If you
gross
go to their website, the first scene that is shown is him pulling a tentacle out of his stomach.
Yeah, I just,
That
you know, it's in the trailer
Mm.
too. I don't know, man. Like, I guess someone's into it, but it ain't me.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's tentacle porn out there, so
It's
I mean,
a lot of body horror. A lot of
Yeah.
gross.
It's just gross.
I was
Just
gonna
gross.
say, I don't even think it's not like, ooh, that's like repulsive. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't want to see this. It's gross.
Speaking of gross, Vin Diesel's face was in Arc 2.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of gross,
that was
Did you
that was
say
pretty
speak-
gross.
we'd seen his face in it before, right?
yeah, we've seen
Yeah,
it
we'd
in
seen
this trailer.
it. But they're putting Arc 2 out. I don't know. It's very funny that Vin Diesel's the face of that.
Really weird.
It's about
He came on
family.
screen and the entire chat was just all caps family.
Family.
Every single person.
Yes.
Where's the
Well,
Oh my
it's
God.
kind of fitting where he is in that because he is with family. So
Yep.
It all comes together.
There was a game called Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn.
Mm-hmm. That actually looked good. We've seen multiple trailers of Flintlock, and every time we're just like, this looks kind of cool.
That looks kind of cool. I would concur. Terrible name. I think Flintlock by itself is a great name.
Yeah, just Flintlock. Good name.
Is this is the one where you're like fighting demons with like old school?
Old timey
Okay.
guns. There's
Alright.
like the gods, and you develop guns, and gods are like, that's like a sin. You shouldn't do that, and so you use the guns to kill the gods. I think.
Yikes. Okay. I mean, sure. Yeah. Okay.
Looks pretty
Sure.
neat. There's a game called As Dusk Falls. This is like the motion graphic like story game, which we were all like, it kind of looks okay. And then they got to the end of the trailer and they were like 8-player co-op, and I was like, yes, let's do it.
I guess we know what we're doing for the 24-hour stream.
Looks so cool.
wait, we're doing As Dusk Falls for 24 hours.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's
Okay.
another game in my library that I need to eventually organize a stream for.
So and got to the
Should be
quarry,
fun.
or the one before the quarry.
Yeah, I was gonna say the quarry
Yeah,
is the
there's
one
a-
that we could actually put into the 24-hour stream and finish it.
There's a Dark Pictures anthology game that's also out. We haven't played.
Oh my God, embarrassing. You guys are
It
slacking.
is. It really is.
Pathetic.
They're re-releasing Persona 3, 4, and 5
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
on Xbox and PC.
I didn't think anyone
Yeah.
would talk about Persona 3 ever. I was hoping for a remake, but I will take a re-release.
Five's your favorite, right?
Absolutely. It's
Okay.
honestly,
I
it's
thought
not
so.
even especially close.
Okay.
But 4 and 3 do things better than 5. 5 just does gameplay and style better than all of them. Like 5 is fun to play, whereas 3 and 4 can be a little rough at times, a little grindy.
I'm excited to finally be able to understand what Persona is. Like, the fact that this is finally coming to PC so I can play this game and be like, alright, what is this Persona game that Tim and Jake will not shut up about? And who are these waifus that are just so good and I have to love them? Like, I need to know.
If you're
I
not
need to
sure,
know.
if you get it and you're like, oh, I should start with 3, don't start with 3. Start with 5, please.
No,
Please start with 5.
The reason I
Just
don't
for
own
anyone.
4 right now is because of that. I was like, I just
Okay.
want to play 5. Because I know
Fair.
that you've said 5 is like a glowing recommendation, and if I really like 5, then I'll go back and play like 4 or
Yes.
something.
Absolutely.
And like kind of
Is 5
backtrack
like way
it.
more approachable
But
Yeah,
than the other
it's-
ones?
Yeah, I mean it's the only one I feel like I could recommend no strings attached.
Huh,
The other
okay.
ones, 4 is like it's fun, it can get a little repetitive, and 3 is like it's fun sometimes, and the last boss is impossible.
Great. Couple other things. They got Kojima to be on camera for a minute.
Yeah. So talk
He's
about
gonna make a
nothing.
game.
Yeah.
Which
Great.
pretty big for Xbox because he's kind of been a Sony guy for a long time. And yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do. It'll be cool though, probably.
I bet he doesn't know what he's gonna do.
Well, actually,
Hopefully
there's a lot
not.
of speculation that they had some sort of trailer done, but since the game's not going to be out in the next 12 months, they cut it because they really wanted that
Oh,
like big
Mhm.
impact. Like, we have stuff that's coming out soon,
now
guys.
yeah.
that could
So weird.
Hmm.
And then yeah, they showed Diablo 4, which we talked a little bit about earlier, being scared of, but
be. Yeah,
the game kind of seems like it's an MMO now somehow.
it looks
It's
like
a live
Lost Ark.
service some kind, right? Or
It's got a lot of Lost Ark in it. It seems
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
people running around doing world bosses. Like
Are
It's
you
weird to me.
serious?
It's like yeah,
everybody, yeah.
mhm. It sounds like Lost Ark. There's an open world. You run around. People are doing world bosses, and then you have like instanced dungeons for you and your friends. Necromancer's gonna be in it.
Necromancer, that was a weird trailer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They showed a Necromancer trailer before the fucking game trailer. I don't know.
Weird.
That
Their final
That's a
class
choice.
announcement.
It looked.
Also,
it
they
looks
showed
just
it was
less good
like,
than Lost Ark.
she's
I think.
constantly doing necromancy throughout the entire trailer, and then they
It is
build up to this one
hilarious.
moment when they're like, "Oh, necromancer," and it's like, yeah, obviously,
Yeah, we got it.
she's been doing
No
necromancy the whole
shit.
time.
it's like the people who just like don't know. This is for you. You don't know video games. This is for you.
Oh snap! It's a necromancer. I didn't get that.
Crazy.
Caleb, did you say this looks less
It
good?
looks like less good Lost Ark. That's what I
That's
think.
funny. That's funny because I feel like Lost Ark is like a playoff of Diablo.
Oh, it
Yes.
absolutely
Yeah,
is.
It
Like,
100% is.
I am so disturbed by everything you're saying about Diablo 4 right now. I'm just like, I'm hurting inside.
yeah.
That's like looking at Halo and Splitgate and being like, "Yep, Splitgate's better right now. Halo 4 needs some work."
I mean, it looks very drab.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know, man. It also sounds like it's gonna be a full price game, which, you know, if it's worth that, like, cool. But if it's just gonna be like Lost Ark's free, y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Correction, Halo Infinite, not 4. Sorry about that.
we know what you meant. You're all good.
Yeah.
And then
Man.
the big thing at the end of this conference was they did like an extended look at Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I had a question about this actually because
Okay.
I was getting a whole bunch of just, I don't know, random notifications about people who were like, "Do not pre-order this game." Do not pre-order this game because it is so far from being done, and it's just going to convince them that they can release something that's not complete. I don't know what made people say that, but it was like the only thing that was on my phone for like 24 hours
Well,
straight. It's crazy.
If you watch what they showed, it looks pretty rough.
It looks really
I-
rough.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
Are you saying that there's games released by these people that aren't complete? That seems like blasphemy to me. No.
I mean, more generally,
Also-
I would just say, like, don't pre-order games. That's how they got me with Cyberpunk. Like, just don't.
Yeah.
If it's
Dang.
good, you can still get it after it's like out, and people go, "Oh yeah, it's definitely good and worth your money."
Man,
That's
I
just my take on it.
feel like Cyberpunk is too much hate. I feel like it got overhyped, and that's the reason why it
I mean,
got
yes.
that much
I mean,
hate.
it absolutely did. But I mean, Starfield's gonna be in the same boat.
People think that about No Man's Sky, though. They're like, "Oh, it got overhyped. It got too much hate. It's actually a good game." I mean, eventually it became good.
Now they didn't say that at the beginning. They say that now. They didn't say that at the beginning when it was actually a bad game.
Anyway, Starfield.
Yeah, so it just looks like a bunch of nothingness right now.
Actually, speaking of No Man's Sky, it looks like No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
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 It
Which-
looks like what No Man's Sky started as.
The joke I heard was No Man's Skyrim. So,
Which is hilarious.
Skyrim.
I like that.
Good.
It's.
I mean, it doesn't look particularly good. I think, even aside from it looking rough. I mean,
I
it looks
will
like
say-
whatever.
graphically,
No, just gameplay
to
wise.
play as a
gameplay wise,
game.
sure.
Yeah. It doesn't look terribly interesting.
Well,
I
it
don't know,
definitely
I-
looks like a shooter made by the people that made Fallout.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't like, and like I look at it and I think of it in a terms of like, is it going to be buggy as hell? Yeah. Is it going to be a great game? Fuck no. Am I going to love every second of playing it? Oh God, yes. Like, I don't think that I am overhyping that. I just know it's like, well, I loved 3, I loved 4, I loved 76, I've loved Oblivion, Morrowind, and Skyrim. Whatever the fuck you're making, I'm going to enjoy. I don't care how bad it is. Like, I'm going to like this game, and I know that.
It could be good. They said there's
could
more
I
handcrafted
think-
content in it than any game that they've made before.
I'm going to say it now. I'm the only person in this group that's actually going to enjoy that game. I think everyone else is going to fucking hate it.
True. Might be true. I was terrified when Todd was like, "Yeah, there's over like what do you say, like 1,000 worlds?
1,000 worlds.
Yeah.
1,000 worlds.
Which,
Like
like,
that means like 900 of them will be bad.
Yeah. I mean, No
You
Man's Sky
cannot
had the
make
same
that much
problem,
content.
right?
The
Like,
thing
yeah.
I'm baffled about with that is people say that Elden Ring had a lack of content and a bunch of world to explore of nothingness. I can only imagine
Out.
what this game's gonna have.
Yeah, I was literally about to say Elden Ring's the only game. Maybe Breath of the Wild as well. where I felt like the game deserved to be as big as it was.
Yeah, Breath of the
Where
Wild
it had a
used
big
every
world, and it was like, oh yeah, there's like, I liked exploring this world, because usually it's just like, oh, you could go over there.
It's definitely a bad take that people have, saying that the world has nothing in it, when in reality they just aren't playing the game properly. Or I guess they just didn't sign up for an open world game, and that's cool. Go back to Dark Souls, you know?
Yeah, I think that especially when he announced like that 1,000 planet things, I'm just thinking like in Mass Effect when you would go to so many of those planets and it would be like a tiny sandbox that you could run around in like 2 minutes in either direction, and that was it, and that was the planet. And I was like, I kind of hope that that's what it is, so that way it's actually like achievable content and not just like all of these huge vast worlds that I'd just be like, there's no way in hell you could explore. Like if every single one of those worlds were as large as Fallout 4, there's no way in hell there's actual content in any of those worlds. Like you would just walk endlessly before you even saw an NPC, because there's no way it could load all that shit in one game.
Well, the NPCs won't be released until like 18 months after the game's released.
Hey, you know what? I'm okay with that, because I'll have a good time playing with all the other people on multiplayer.
Who needs good content? Am I right? Am I right?
I doubt this game has multiplayer.
If you can enjoy bad content, who needs good content?
I will leave you to your filth.
The one thing I can say
so-
about the trailer is the space combat stuff looked kind of interesting.
The building of your ship looked very cool.
More interesting than the rest of the game.
It looked, I mean, the shipbuilding looked like the gummy shipbuilder from Kingdom Hearts 1.
It did.
Like, I said that kind of in jest, but it does look really similar, where you get like blocks and you arrange them together. I don't know, man. Maybe that'll be fun.
You walk off the ship in the beginning of that trailer, and it instantly does like the No Man's Sky scanner thing, where it highlights a plant, and everybody's like instantly like, that looks like No Man's Sky, because it's like so identifiable. And then they walk into a cave and like mine some ore with a laser, and we're like, that's No Man's Sky. Like, what are they doing here? I don't. And then they go on to show like your, you know, build up your base and like craft your ship and like collect all this, you know, survival crafting type stuff. And I'm like, why do this to me? Why do this game? Make it an RPG. That's all you have to do.
Man, it just sounds like there's nothing. Like there's nothing at all.
I mean, they said most handcrafted content that they've ever done in any game. So there's certainly going to be like a lot to do.
Yeah.
And that's like what? 5 planets? That makes up like the most, more than any other game they've made, maybe?
Yeah.
You got 995 more planets.
I don't know what the point of having like a big planet number is.
I said in the chat, bragging about the size of your game is like so early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like most people have learned by now that just because a game is big, it is not good.
Yeah.
Like, it's like more about the shit that's in it than how big it is.
Certainly the vast majority of those planets will be like nothing. But the planets that have a lot of content on it probably will have like a lot of stuff.
Probably.
Yeah.
So
I mean, to me, the real question is there going to be better than Outer Worlds? Outer Worlds. Had to be very careful there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man.
Outer Worlds was
Obsidian
fantastic.
did good. Obsidian, the guys who did Fallout New Vegas.
I mean,
yeah.
Also, that should be a prime example of how you don't need to have 1,000 worlds to make a quality space RPG game. I mean, it's great.
A handful of locations, 30-hour story.
Yeah, it was nice, tight. Gunplay was actually like good. Maybe not amazing, but pretty good.
Build diversity.
I think bragging about size only leads to disappointment in a couple of avenues in life, and this is one of them.
There you go.
Well said. Well said.
Very well said.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for Xbox Bethesda.
Are there any others?
Capcom also had a thing the next day.
Capcom. Who knows why they had a thing?
It was like half an hour long. They showed basically nothing. I don't know what the point of it was. I guess they announced Resident Evil 8 DLC and also the fact that you can go third person in that game now.
Cool, man. Awesome.
They announced.
They showed Resident Evil 4 is going to have a force in it. So,
Oh.
you know, buckle up for that.
I
Buckle
thought they
up
were
for
gonna
that,
like do a
gamers.
deep dive on Street Fighter. I was ready for that, and they didn't show
Yeah.
anything from Street
No.
Fighter.
What's weird is they gave out, like, codes to, like, influencers. I've watched them gameplay on YouTube. I was like, why did you not show a fight? Get 2 fucking Street Fighter pros and be like, here's an early build of the game. Watch them fight.
Right?
I don't know. Seems like a huge missed opportunity to me, but what do I know?
They had a whole segment built up where they had mentioned Dragon's Dogma ahead of time, and then they had like a segment for them to talk about how later on they were going to have like a 10th anniversary video. And that was it. They didn't say anything else about it then.
They did.
think
they
How
announced it later, though,
annoying
didn't
was
they?
that? Yeah, so then today they did that and they announced Dragon's Dogma 2.
God.
But the fact that that wasn't on the
Yeah.
main stage at Capcom, like what are they doing? I don't
It was wild.
understand.
You would
They had
think
nothing
that
else
the
to
people,
show.
you would
Yeah.
think that the people running like the PC Gamer Showcase show and the Capcom show would have like maybe gone back and watched some other, video game release showcases and been like, hey, maybe what we should do is what these guys are doing.
Yeah,
Have
Yeah.
good commentators,
Nah.
actually talk about the content people want to see,
Garbage.
show developed things, give hard dates, or at least general dates.
Bring
Nah.
out Todd Howard. That always seems to
Yeah.
go well.
Todd Howard in a leather jacket, man.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Put
that's
him on
the
there.
key.
Let him talk.
White shirt, leather jacket, absolutely.
Somebody bring Keanu on.
Honestly, huge. Get
Yeah.
that girl who did Ghostwire Tokyo that one year.
Yeah.
She was awesome. Get her to do more stuff.
Oh man.
One thing we missed, I don't know if this actually came out during one of the shows or not, but they released the opening cinematic for Stalker 2. And
Is
Oh.
that
I
is
think
that
that was
related
the-
to STLKER too?
Yeah.
Or is that a different?
God.
I think that was in the Xbox Extended Showcase.
extended showcase. Okay.
They did
They
like a
also-
thing a couple days later.
They released a developer diary of that game alongside it to show,
Yeah.
because they're in Ukraine developing.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but
It's pretty surreal.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's literally like segments of that documentary, the little mini doc where there's like developers that are in full battle gear.
Jesus.
They're like,
Christ.
yeah, we're working on this game, but also like fighting a war. Weird.
Horrific.
Nuts.
Absolutely horrific.
Nuts.
And
that they
they
would
mentioned
even
that-
think we should keep doing this. That's just nuts. That's wow.
There's like, video of like devs in what essentially like bomb shelter areas, like with their PC like on a sink or whatever, trying to work on the game. Like they mentioned towards the end of it that there's a lot of devs that they couldn't show for like their own safety and stuff like that. Like they couldn't reveal anything about where they were and stuff like that.
Man.
Crazy. Chad, I think you had a comment you were going to bring up about games that don't have anything in them.
Yeah, so
We kind
I
of
don't
glazed
know-
over.
I don't know if you guys have heard anything or seen anything about Sonic Frontiers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like it don't look like much, right? But the thing that I saw come out was that Sonic Frontiers dev says negative reactions
Oh, yeah.
are because people don't understand it. Um,
You just don't get it, man.
this comment literally like embodies and reflects. Don't you guys have phones?
Absolutely.
Don't you guys have phones?
I do know that some people have played the demo and said what we're seeing from like the gameplay trailer is like a build way back. So maybe it will be good, and we're hoping. But there are also some people who said they played the demo and they honestly don't understand it. They're like, I don't understand what this game is. So
There's like extended gameplay footage, and it's just like they just run around like this weird grassy landscape and like do sick jumps off of ramps.
I'm gonna be real, y'all. When's the last time Sonic Team has made a good game?
yeah.
I feel like it's been a while.
Only
And you
the
gotta
bad
be
games have
generous
been
with
good.
good game.
Lately,
Yeah.
right?
It also looks like visually super jarring
Yeah.
to me.
I mean-
To me, it looks like a fan project.
Yes.
that
It literally
is somehow
looks like-
official.
It looks like you got Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
You dragged some assets that come with it. You dropped them in. You put a Sonic model in. You said, "Look, a Sonic game."
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring that up because it was just funny to talk about how there's games out there that we shouldn't pre-order and have literally nothing in it, and it looks like this is just something that you just shouldn't. There was actually a hashtag delay Sonic Frontiers, and the devs like, nah, we're not going to.
No.
Fair enough.
So
Love the confidence. I actually, before we move on, I do have one other one that happened today. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2.
Oh,
It's
How'd
called
they actually get that?
Rebirth, I think. It's coming out next fall, next winter? Like 2023. Fall, I think.
Where did that come out of?
Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 Rebirth.
Yes.
what in the world?
Why not?
Was there a part 1?
Yeah,
Integrate,
Final
right?
Fantasy VII Remake. Intergrade was the expansion on Remake,
Oh,
Caleb.
God,
You stupid,
sorry.
you clown.
Sorry, that
Oh
was
my
dumb.
gosh.
Gosh.
Did
Dumb.
Square Enix just like put out a press release or something? There wasn't like a show for this or anything like that?
So it was today. Today they did a thing at 7. There was a
Okay.
stream. It was really short, though. Mostly it was stuff I didn't care about. But at the end, they were like, oh, it's the next one. It's going to be in 3 parts. So there's Remake, Rebirth, and then a third one that they have not named yet. But presumably it will be Redo.
ReZero.
ReZero! The crossover.
Wow.
But yeah, I think that's exciting.
Last but not least, before we step off here or hop off here, Chad, you want to tell us about your moving experience?
Yeah,
you've been having
so,
lately?
As you can see in the background, I'm upstairs in my living room looking towards the kitchen because we got our carpets cleaned and I don't have a desk downstairs. And I'm basically, if you hear it, it's an echoey house right now where we have literally everything out except for 2 twin mattresses, a desk, and a couple things that need to go into Kate's car, which is shipping out 11 a.m. tomorrow. So we have already packed our pod. The pod came on the 11th. We packed it up the 11th and 12th, and then the 13th it got picked up. On the 13th, I got an email at 4:28 p.m., which looked very spammy. It was not like all of my emails have come from Pod, and it's been like Pod customer service. This one was literally just a name, and so I kind of just overlooked it. And I'll be like, I was like, all right, I'll deal with that tomorrow. Tomorrow happened, and it was June 14th. And the email was actually a Pod's rental agreement, which meant that I needed to agree to get my stuff shipped to Kansas. And I didn't. And so what they did is they told me, hey, guess what? Since you didn't do that, we can't get your stuff there by 6:25 like you want. It's going to get there by 7:11. And I was like, that doesn't help me out.
Oh no.
It's
And
a
so,
lot slower.
Yeah.
and so I started talking to the guy, and let me tell you what, got a little less than Christian on him.
Ooh.
We started walking through the same process of, okay, so what date would you like it shipped out there? Okay, so what date would you like it picked up? And as we got to that section, I was like, this is ridiculous. I've already been through this. Why did I need to, why was there one email, which you said came 3 days ago, that was hinging on this whole process, when the process should have been the first guy that I spoke to was the agreement that I want my stuff shipped by Pod, because that's the whole point that I got you guys.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm sorry, sir. This is policy. What I can do is I can get you an incident report started, and we can see what we could do. It'll take 48 hours to get you all set, and maybe we can get you your date back, but probably not. We can get you a reference number to where you can get held up in like a hotel or something. We can't guarantee that we would reimburse you, but this reference number could potentially reimburse you, which I thought to myself, well, it looks like you can't guarantee anything, so why would I even trust trying to go to a hotel if you can't get me this date? Within 3 hours after that phone call, my date was secured back to 6:25 without any more emails to me. I rechecked Pod. It was there. The pickup date is 7/13. That's when they're coming back to the pod. And I'm like, I'm not touching it. I'm not calling. I'm not saying anything until my stuff is in my house. I will hold that pod to the 13th if that's what it takes. But yeah, that was my little moving experience so far.
Jake, has yours been equally as frustrating?
I mean, we haven't moved yet. So
I mean,
so
like
far,
your process, I guess.
I mean, we went through something with Verizon that was kind of similar. We like called this lady and she was like, "Oh," and we ended up making like a whole new Verizon account for our new address because it was like, "Oh, it's across state lines. You need a new account." And it was just like, okay, like whatever, I guess. I don't work at Verizon. And then like I reached out to customer service again because I was like, hey, I need to like coordinate turning it off here. Like we have a new account like I'm supposed to for the new place. And he looks and he's like, do you want me to combine your accounts? I was like, yeah?
Are
Yeah.
you serious?
Excuse
Yeah.
me.
He just like looked at it and he was like, why? What? I'm just gonna combine your accounts. Is that okay? And I was like, yeah. And he ended up,
Gosh.
yeah, he ended up knocking off like $10 off our wireless bill every month. So I was like, great.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
there you
Good
go.
stuff.
Yep.
Nice.
Hey, doubling back to Final Fantasy real quick.
Oh my gosh.
This new one's PS5 only.
Oh.
Oh.
So was Remake originally.
Remake's PS4, wasn't it?
Well, it's also on PS5, but whatever, sure. I mean,
So you're gonna have part one of the remake on PS4, and then the rest of it is not on that system.
I mean, what's gonna happen? It's the same thing they did with Remake, right? You release Remake PS4 only, and then you say, okay, now it's on PS5 as well, and here's an upgrade. Oh, okay, it's on Epic, and now it's also coming to Steam.
Huh.
So I bet it is PS5 exclusive for a while, then the PC port comes out. Is my guess. That's how a lot of console excuse.
It's just weird.
these days.
This specifically is weird, I think, because it's like parts of a single game, kind of, and it's
I
not
mean,
going to be on
I
PS4
suppose.
anymore.
At this point, I think it is so. It's so different from base Final Fantasy VII that it's more of like a reimagining, I guess.
Is it more
And
like a
it is a
trilogy
remake?
of individuals games then? At this
Oh,
point,
I don't know. I mean, I think they are all going to be sequels. Obviously, it's going to follow Cloud and the gang, Cloud and the boys.
yeah.
But I actually have not finished Remake. I've been replaying the base game before I dive back into it, so I will report back in a year.
1 year.
1 year.
I'm
For
gonna
now,
mark
it
this
on your
date. I
fucking
am.
calendars.
I
Good.
am.
Hold me to it.
I'm gonna bring this back up.
Speaking of
Please,
predictions,
Please.
Speaking of
briefly,
predictions, are you gonna let this podcast end, Alex? Or are you just
Yeah,
gonna keep
briefly.
bringing up
No.
other things?
briefly in an
breaking news.
interview, Todd Howard said that Fallout 5 is coming out after The Elder Scrolls 6.
Whatever. Whatever, dude.
I just want to
Yeah,
put
and
in
then
my,
Elder Scrolls 7 will come
my
out after that.
predictions. My predictions are 2027 for the Elder Scrolls 6 and 2031 for Fallout 5. That's what I'm holding to right now.
2031.
2031 Fallout 5 will be released.
I appreciated that I saw an article that the grandma that plays Skyrim asked if they could release the Elder Scrolls 6 before she dies, and I looked at that article and I was like, I don't know, that's gonna be real close, guys.
Yeah, sorry, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Like that's gonna be a race.
I want to leave you guys with a reenactment to end this podcast.
Oh man,
Okay, alright.
this is going
So-
for a loop.
Yeah, so look over at Kate because she goes, and she looks real concerned at me. Did you know that birds can see ultraviolet light?
I mean,
Excellent.
it's a cool today I learned, but I don't know that it deserves a.
I thought she was like saw like our credit card, score dropped or something. I don't know.
No, she just got a credit score email. That's
Yeah.
what happened.
A fake
Yeah.
one. Got you.
Yeah, and she was gonna ask if there was like one specific game that was in Steam
Hey.
Next Fest.
Yeah. Do we talk about Overwatch 2?
Oh man.
All right. On that note, we are out of here, so we can actually be done with this incredibly long podcast
There's this
that
game
Owen
called
has
Hellsinger?
just drawn out for over 2 hours. Thank you, Owen, for doing that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anyways, thanks so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time. See ya.